man just arbitrarily made a sword case. It's going to shake all the hunters in the exam room. Even real one, huh? One of the most powerful hunters out there. I'd also want to get it right away. This scene, all the judges couldn't believe their eyes. By the sword that he created, is showing a tremendous amount of pressure. After the evaluation system, this fire attribute sword sheath has reached the super rare level. It can just be stored. It can be many times less powerful. No one understands why one born again can have such a terrifying forging industry. But they don't know that in a previous life, this man was once the strongest blacksmith, thanks to his forging skills. You've created countless god-level weapons for heroes. He then killed 6 demons with them. But even if you win, humans still can't survive. Because of the 6 demons of destruction. There's a guy called the Destroyer. Even though he died, but mostly, the land is still covered by the sea of death that he created, swallowed. Think about it, the car can't help but laugh for an hour. It's hard for me to survive. And you end up dying in these waters. The heroes who survived also fell. Even the tower of heroes that supported the earth collapsed. The sea of damned ruins, even though the ghost was killed, still doesn't vanish. At that moment, there was a man in the back. Are you really going to do a play here alone? Get in front of the car. He was quiet, frown as soon as you see your slimy form. Anyone who looks at you probably thinks you are. The whole world is lost. Dog love car, eh? I hear that. Lou's turned to leave. Full of provocation before the sarcasm. The man who just fell out. You're going to pretend to be a hero now. Sadistic Louis Fallon, while Amiya hugs her head tightly, and complains. I mentioned it before. Right? The boss is just trying to enjoy, after taking command of the Legion. Hey doggy and me a schoolgirl. After a month of silence, even though people take turns criticizing, the cold car ordered. Stop talking nonsense. You soon gave birth to grass. If there's not a lot of equipment we make. The last blacksmith said he had just finished the car. He was angry. What Lou's here can't help but exclaim. This guy is hard to hear. Emir did not forget to remind the boss. That's a little too much for you to say. And then I started swearing. Makes the air tight as if it's being choked. Shut up. You boys. If you don't like it, return it to me. That moment, there's only one thought in the car. The 3 people standing in front of me right now are the 3 dogs. They are not on the side of humanity. It doesn't belong to those fucking ghosts. They just act on what they like. Always put personal interests first. They are the ones who are always out of the fight, to profit even selfish bastards to the end. But they've survived to this moment. And finally, they're the most active. Think about this. Karhan vaguely raised questions. If they act sooner, is the result better? One more time. His eyes were caught by the sun at the end of the sea. The car sat quietly on the ground. Then a glance behind. Can anyone still stand? When I heard that, the car broke down. He makes a dry sound. I'm at my limit. All of the internal organs have been smashed. Luce raised his head to the air. He spoke slowly. The situation here is no better. It seems to be their curse. The blood keeps flowing on the side. Amir couldn't stop complaining. My heart's been pierced. It's not over. Sun sighed helplessly. See, you should have helped from the beginning. Even when they're dying. You're still chilling instead of being selfish. Just worry about yourself. 3 fucking dogs. Then there was a loud noise. Attracts Sihun's attention. I saw a group of people driving. Louis and Amir collapsed at the sight. I calmly stand up. His mouth sighed softly, until the last moment. It's still annoying. Then the car came closer and closer. He gently grasped the hammer. I just saw the car lift the object into the air. Keep your eyes fixed on the metal underneath. Forever a while later, I carefully stuck the knives down the side next to Amiya's body. The car's voice was hoarse with anger. Please respect your equipment a little. How can it be used if it is broken like this? I thought in my heart. At least these can be used as tombstones for them. The car looked up at the endless sky. You stand silently in the sea wind screaming at yourself. Now it's my turn. Sun's blood-riddled hands slowly held up. A calm to cold look. This will also be the last time I do this. Immediately he clapped hard in the middle of the space chest, trembling softly, the lines of light floating in front of Sun. The insensitive voice echoing in my head, is working on extracting links from the Li object. Sun degree of affiliation with creature. Li Sun has reached negative level. I saw a crystal in my hand. The pale blue light around the invisible ore. Cold system explained. The unique skill, Link Blacksmith, can get special ore from the connected target. Effects of ore depending on the relationship and the potential of the subject. Farhan staring at the crystal mass crush. A paper on my thoughts. However, if he used it on myself, it's worse than a piece of ore. Mediocre iron, colorless ore, a kind of bonding ore extracted from Xhan glass. It's completely empty. I wish I could wake up to this power. A little earlier, he looked at the fading ore in his hand. His fingernails held deep. His voice whispered as if begging for the dir. If there's nothing in it, then swallow up the regret that's tormenting me. Right after that, Farhan suddenly raised the hammer bar in hand. The rumbling echoes from afar. He looked up at the Black Sea. The sound of the Dead Sea. Or the sound of the waves I've been hearing for so long. But one thing I'm sure of. Whenever this sound fluttered in the ear. In that moment, Farhan frantically hammered down the object block. I had a bold thought in my mind. A masterpiece beyond imagination will always be born. At the last minute, the hammer's face is smashed down a light pole, suddenly crashed straight into the air. He held up the knife. His voice dropped violently. Until the end, and there's no possibility. What's special? The car can't help but laugh at itself. I thought something good was going to happen. Even if it's a stone, or even your own connection. Look at the colorless metal in your hand, he muttered in his heart. It's still monotonous and boring. Instead of that, I will end this life with my own hands. It was at this moment that the car's muscles suddenly stiffened, two eyes upside down. Then I laughed. Laughter echoed distorted in the sea of death, both crazy and tragic. I'm a crazy guy too. Think about the only thing I did until the end. It's still hammering. At that moment, the car's heart sank into thoughts, and throw away the last sword. I've realized the truth about the sound of the waves that constantly appear. Since I woke up, the power all the time. I'd always wonder what that sound means. It turns out it's the presence of the sea of destruction. His eyes closed with regret as heavy as a rock. Lips fluttering machine in regret. I wish I had understood that a little earlier. Or I should have persuaded those 3 dogs earlier. The car denied it. If I would have done it for someone else sooner, even a little bit, maybe things could have turned in one direction. Then the space around the car twists and turns. A giant image of an ancient device emerges. The notification voice echoed. The spiritual image of the device has come to light. Mental skills, primitive regression is being activated. Between the bright light, a strange voice echoed serenely. The contestant opened his eyes wide with his breath. I can't help but feel a little panic. What, am I not dead yet? On the opposite side, the assistant watched him dumbfounded. Cups Hun contestant. What the hell are you doing there? I heard that the car blew for me contestant. It's been 31 years since I heard this word again. And then suddenly he screamed. Why can you worship there? In the middle of the entrance exam, what words have you rolled your eyes? The car looked around at the entrance exam. If it's about 31 years ago, this is not 3 parrots. Are these the memories that are coming back? Before I closed my eyes flashed with shock. When I remember the last moment, waiting for the phenomenon to manifest, I saw just before I died. The air around the car was freezing. The breath is regressing back to the starting point. Maybe that's really happening. From my weapon made of link stones. Assistant Hun's strict voice. This is my final warning to you. Contestant Lee Hun. He kept on saying more. If you don't make it right now, I'm going to kick you out of here. Listen to this. I nod instinctively. Farhan staring at the hammer below the regression. It turns out that's it. His hands are clenched in the air. It's like grabbing an invisible hammer. If I soon realize the gifts that are given, and start swinging hammers earlier, then I change every situation. Farhan immediately denied the madness. That's not the most important thing. His breathing slowed down, his heart rate stabilized. The whole body is regenerated. In that moment of awakening, he stared at the palm of his hand. There's only one thing that really matters right now. I have to do it. It's thinking about this. The corners of the car's mouth swirled. I stand up straight in the middle of the room, eyes on fire, like a smithy that just reignited the first flame. The voice is deep but echoing in the mind. I have to protect everything. The car's mouth picked up again. To carry the thought. In this life I will pass the exam. He gently swung his hammer high. The eyes light up with the thought. Meeting those 3 dogs is just the beginning. Then suddenly a small fire broke out. Ancient used herself. He leaned softly towards your smithy. His eyes glowed in surprise. The driver only saw the car, frantically hammering down the metal piece. Ancient immediately approached, eyes fixed on my hands. It's amazing. It seems slow, but the rhythm is perfect. With clear and pure echoes. He carefully turned his eyes to the metal in his hand. Sun could not help but exclaim. This is the ultimate forging skill. That moment Ancient stood still. My eyes don't leave you. He slowly swallowed calm. The eye doesn't leave the iron that's slowly forming. What level of perfection is that? And at the same time the assistant rolled his eyes in wonder. Can he really make it? See that Incheon smirked. A genius contestant has applied. If he had just submitted his paper, it would have passed. At the right time, the car banged the hammer down on the metal piece. A loud noise echoed, attract the attention of everyone. And then suddenly, the metal shatters into pieces. Assistant Han almost chopped off the spot on the side. Incheon was so surprised that he rolled his eyes. At the house of the Han car, he looked at the burning object in his hand. Car Han swivel small metal block in hand. It's not too bad, but it's only this size. He squeezed his lips and analyzed. Extract link will quantify the relationship to a specific goal. To extract ore that doesn't exist. The car stared at the metal. His eyes dropped. The problem is that the link level is low. It's hard to take advantage of it right now. Look at the index in front of you. He laughed bitterly. Then the new students of the three. My stats are pathetic. The car raised its head and sighed helplessly. It's a shame, but if that's the price to pay for going back to the past, it's still cheap. He muttered softly in his heart, forcing himself to calm down. Yeah, don't rush it. The car's eyes sparkled when thinking about the future. Want more than this, it's just greed. There's still enough time to crush those demonic bastards. These demonic monsters threaten not only humanity, it's the whole planet. The 6 great gods. It caused the destruction of humanity. It's totally their plan. The car stared into the air. I was thinking, if you want to stop them, you can't be picky, choose the means or the way. You can't let yourself get confused ahead of important events in the future. So I need to get a weapon. Or skills related to previous memories. He nodded as if confirming himself. The first step of the plan to enroll in the 3 parrots has been solved. Next is you. At this time, a flash of light pulls the car's attention. There, I can only see your eyes open in wonder. This is a very formal sounding system. The user's link level. My car has reached level 1. Link imprinting skills have been added. A week later at Babio Academy. 3 Parrots Academy appeared in the early sun. At the same time in the car academy hallway. Breathing out fucking exasperation. I'm lost again. This place is right. I looked around the large hallway. Then stop when you see this familiar sign. As soon as you get inside the car, carefully say good morning. Someone suddenly broke into the student's car glass. Hun. After a glimpse of bewilderment, you go into a state of stupor. Michael knocked slowly on the table. He was sarcastic. You look pretty relaxed. Michael. He looked up at the room waiting for people. Can't you see everyone's waiting? Michael bus sucking Vistein Bo shipper. Incheon couldn't help but speak up. Vice principal, there's still 10 minutes left. The additional exam just started that he immediately interrupted. It's not a matter of time. It's the attitude of Michael's voice dropping. I'm going to have to warn him about this. On this sign, the car is flickering. A sight in my heart. It's not just refinement. It's in bad condition. And he's in conflict with his superiors. Sehun's eyes turned to Incheon. Now I understand. Why did he introduce another practitioner? As soon as you keep rolling your eyes, An turned to look with anger. Not wanting to hide. Eyes, he stopped in the car and rolled from top to bottom. I see that you are motionless. Our wings unconsciously let loose. After a pause, the car slowly opened. It's nice to meet you in front of the slanderous attitude. He smiled with a wry look. What the hell is this little kid doing? It's been a long time since I've been treated this way. Boring is unbelievable. It's at this moment, a loud voice that grabs everyone's attention. Have you gathered enough? Right after that, a shadow appeared under the scorching sun. See that? Hun and Han turn around at the same time. Michael opened his mouth. We were wondering when you'd arrive. Principal. I rolled my eyes as soon as I saw it. The other person is grateful to sit down immediately. Eye to eye with Sehun. She's staring at you with cold eyes. Mouth with a low voice. I'm sorry I'm late, Ryo Anha. Principal of Bo Courier Department of Babio. As soon as I saw Anha, the car can't help but feel a little confused. Why is this woman here? The moment I saw you. The car is silent. Her eyes sank as if tracking a distant memory. They've heard the breaks that she previously worked at. When you think about it, I am more confused inside. I can't believe it. He is now sitting in the principal's chair. Hero levels, weapon swallower Ryo Anha. A superhuman with unique abilities, felt to increase strength by absorbing the weapons. In the moment before we turn back time, she's just a familiar guest. I often visit my store. A long time later, appears with a sleazy appearance. Her voice softened, eyes curled like laughter, but deep down, there's an unfathomable sadness. I'm really sorry I ate your weapon. The car is standing still. I didn't say yes. Then the space fell silent. She's got her face down on this side. The car showed an angry face. His teeth were so clenched that his body trembled. In the end, I was helpless to bow. Back to reality. The call was brief, but definitive. Take me out of my mind. Hun, this car, hun. The car suddenly woke up, and he quickly said, yes. Incheon spoke quietly, eyes scanning through each contestant. We're going to start disseminating content. Let's all focus. He's close to the end, his voice is clear, word for word. You will have a total of 90 minutes to take this test. Interim stopped for a month and continued. In that 90-minute period, your job is to make a device. To match the sword from the previous exam. The interim paused for a few seconds. Create a heavy silence. However, his voice became colder. Every word sounded clear as an order. You're only allowed to use training techniques, alchemy for crafting. Incheon tilts its head slightly towards the prize range, glistening ore. About the raw material part. He lowered his voice. You have the freedom to choose any kind of ore that's here. Incheon's voice dropped. He glanced at the two judges with respect. The finished product will be personally created by Principal Rio. Unha and Vice Principal 3 sucking reviews. So let's put all our heart into it, to create what you're most proud of. And then he dropped his hand firmly. The voice boomed like the opening bell. Ok, stand in front of the car, Hun and Han. Incheon shouted for an hour as the exam officially began. After a while, he whispered in his throat. It's only used in alchemy. The car squeezed its lips for a moment, eyes fixed on the pile of ingredients. We need to create a resonance, a pure magic to stop the original spirit power. It's not violent. I see that. Han laughed. He thinks standing there staring at the ore, this will help the ghost self-force increases. I raised my head slowly. My eyes are a few parts cold. Did I hear that wrong? Curious Car asked again. You just aimed at me for sarcasm. He smirked again. There's no one else around but us. At that moment, Incheon's voice boomed coldly. Han Basoked, his voice reminded. Let's limit our statements. Not related to the exam. He bowed his head slightly. And I would be more sheltered. The car was stunned. What the hell is that? This guy turns out to be the judge's son. Michael Basok. When I think of you, I smile. No wonder they look so similar. The car turned to look at him with disgust. The more I think about it, the more ridiculous this is. I see that thinking. Looks like that guy recognized it. He smirked and laughed. I am the vice principal's son. He's just a commoner. With family, the lowest and most beloved of all. Contest and I was born into a family of 31. Illustrious about alchemy training. They own the power again. Magic can be compared to second-year valedictorians. The end of this confrontation. It was decided from the beginning. Over here, his eyes followed each of the two people's movements. Her mouth smirked and she laughed. Lapis stone and Hanan jade. Both of these are raw materials. Contains the words tremendous amount of magic power. And more than that, their whole ore. Carrying the spirit of the water system. Here Incheon continued in a low voice. The magic of the water system is very strange, making it extremely difficult to cast them. Michael smirked. That's old. Technique. Modern alchemy has gone much further than in the past. In front of his arrogant face, Incheon jumped in. It's a fate forging method. Needles are not constrained by space or circumstances. But the processing time varies depending on the person, development techniques, and types of ore. So in today's conditions, it only takes 30 minutes. Michael continued to laugh. The smile was so sinister that he was angry. He lowered his voice. Han is capable, aggregate of any type of ore, in just half an hour. A few days ago, Han has spun the crystal with spiritual force. Incheon can't help but feel a little confused. Perform resonance synthesis. It only takes 30 minutes. He didn't feel a shudder. If his level has reached completion, resonance synthesis in 30 minutes, then he overcame away from second-year students, let alone freshmen. Eyes Incheon. I passed him with a growing suspicion. It turns out that squeezing time to forge magic stones, to prepare an abundant source of raw materials, and then impose the alchemy method. They've deliberately chosen a topic. The exam is absolutely beneficial for welding. Who had excelled at alchemy before? Incheon's gaze stopped on his face. Michael is as cunning as a venomous snake. After a moment of silence, the car breathed out. This is okay. Thanks for looking curiously at me. She couldn't help but feel a little surprise. It's a group of people staring at you. Aedrates and Aeneas rocks. Medja frowned softly. Feel it clearly. Unstable oscillations from two mineral blocks. It's the fire version of the rock, Lapis and Hanan J, with an incredibly high concentration of magic power. He said coldly. I don't know how talented, but his ego is definitely huge. On this side, Han suddenly turned his eyes to the car. He squinted at the car's pile of materials, and he deliberately chose contrast ores, completely with their own ingredients. Thinking of this, I laughed. What a fool with a little bit of your magic. Don't even dream about controlling the chain of fire. He smiled softly, eyes lowered. This seems easier than I thought. Then suddenly Han's eyes changed. Go back to the car. Notification system. The contract signing skill has been activated. The system sound echoes dry. The magic light that surrounds my body. Seal the contract of harmony is working. Seal the contract allows users to attach contract stones for use. The existing equipment positioned. Left arm, right arm. He's putting a flamethrower on his right arm. Soon a flame slowly fell straight down. Chew after a moment of silence. The corner of your mouth is moving. Even though I still have a long way to go. But showing off trash like this. You stop hammering in the air. My eyes are cold. It's something I absolutely can't accept. As a blacksmith who saw that scene. Assistant Han frantically screamed. You just destroyed the weapon in front of the professor. You think blacksmithing's a joke? Calmly called the judge. In front of Inxian's dazed eyes. He made a suggestion that I should take the exam again. When he heard that, he screamed again. This contestant, he interrupted his assistant. Inxian crossed arms. Give a brief, but definitive order. Give him the rest of the ingredients. Assistant Han can't help but stutter in surprise. But he raised his eyebrows slightly with a cold stare at him. He didn't violate the rules, did he? Or do you want me to get them myself? Dare not argue. Assistant Han hastily replied. Let me bring the ingredients right away. Inxian approached the forge and looked straight into Han's eyes. The young man's voice was warm but full of pressure. He strictly reminded. Do you know that the exam is only 40 minutes away? I just nodded yes. Inxian stared at the debris. He was curious to ask. So do you think breaking it was the right decision? Listen to the car eyes. Fast forward to the metal blocks. Has been destroyed. I turned to look at Inxian. With unwavering determination. I can't submit something like that. On this side. He tilted his head slightly. His eyes widened and slowly opened. Okay, try your best. Forever a while later, I say, once again lit the fire of determination. I took a deep breath. Feel this young but weak body. Tell yourself full of stress. With this body, it's very difficult to train perfectly. Think about it, the car is very powerful. Power and time are running out. So the best option in this situation is. Suddenly there was a loud rumbling from the forge. Some startled contestants turned to. What's that sound? A panicked person screams. That bastard is pumping magic into the igniter. Somebody comes in half this big step. What are you doing? If those stones catch fire, they'll explode. Hurry up and. Meanwhile, the car still calmly reached out his hand to activate the fire. The whole room died when the fire, 5 colors flared up violently, without exploding. Someone said, there's no way this crazy guy. It's at this moment, invisible magic suddenly rushed straight at you. In front of a horrible scene, some people panicked and screamed. Bring the fire extinguisher. Hurry up, Assistant Hanjun voice for help, Professor. Tell him to stop. Inxian just said back, let him do it. Don't say the contestants. Even you can't react that way. Speaking of which, he signaled seriously, watch the flow of the fire. He couldn't help but feel a little confused. In front of the cart is a fire. High temperature flame retardant. He defective, by the resonance of the 5 igneous rocks. He smirked his lips. His eyes did not leave the fire. Requires the ability to control magic power extremely accurately. But it's an excellent technique. It can even be used when the power is minimal. A stuttering contestant, who couldn't believe his eyes. What? It didn't explode. Why did the other one stop talking? Wait. Maybe someone else pointed at the iron bar in the oven, screaming in amazement. The color of the iron has changed. To see that seeing. Inxian quickly understood that it turned out to be. He's resonating the ignition stones, to increase firepower and transform properties of iron ingots. He looked anxiously at the car. This will be significantly shortened, time required to forge, with only 30 minutes left. Time is still tight. Think of this, Inxian silently confirmed. His earlier forging was also excellent. But if that's all it takes, he won't finish it in time. I only see sharp pieces of metal, shoot up in the air. I see that, he grinned. Eyes glowed with a rare light. Right after that, the car uses its bare hands to squeeze the object. And then you slowly put it inside the smithy. I just saw the car open its mouth, and breathe out a little hard. Later, he kept hammering down the metal again. Suddenly the car's arms stopped in the middle of the air. You see, I gritted my teeth. Feel the magic power run out my mouth, muttered down. I ran out of magic power, and the protective layer broke. They deserve a weak body. I need to start practicing as soon as this exam is over. Since when, though? Sihan's palms have been bleeding. Fresh blood slowly spread all over the palm of his hand. In that moment, I had only one thought. I can't waste a second. Right after that, the Karhunigan frantically banged the hammer down. You make the decision to push your body to the limit. It's at this moment, Incheon's voice boomed for 10 minutes. 3 minutes at the end. He nearly screamed. A sound that shook the whole space. A minute the sound just ended. The car immediately raised the sword in its hand. Incheon again shouted stop. I heard that, and opened my mouth at the same time. The car now squeezes its hand under the table. Fresh blood keeps leaking down, and at the same time, the system's bright screen flash is complete. The 5 colors fire sword is complete. You have acquired the skill of flame artisans. Notifications keep ringing in the air. A judgment result. The level of the 5-tone fire sword is high. 5 color fire swords of high quality. A curved sword depicting 5 flames. The flames compressed in the blade react to magic to create vibrant colors. This item reveals the potential of the craftsman. Forging created it. The color and character of the sword, it can change a little. It depends on the nature of the power that's being transmitted. Someone trembled, repeating the rank of the weapon was high. The car continues to say more. I hope you check the detailed description in the information window. You can see its AP result. Assistant Han popped up excited. His voice almost screamed in the air, and it broke. Incheon waved his hand. Shut up, kid. He immediately lowered his voice. Sorry. The scene moved to a room. That's Professor Kim In-cheon's office inside. He glanced anxiously behind him. Lee Si-han sits straight in front of his desk. I asked with unwavering eyes. Is this a sword worthy of submission? In-cheon was silent for a moment and replied. Temporary is right. He opened his mouth, and you still don't look satisfied. Lee Si-han, I'll be honest. In-cheon dropped a deep voice. It's like carrying the weight of the times. This place, it's not going to meet your standards. He's close to emphasizing every word. You'd better withdraw your application. In-cheon continued to speak in a low voice. 3 Bell's reputation can be overwhelming. However, metallurgy has no longer produced any other outstanding achievements. Over here, Si-han remained silent without responding, as squinted at him. It's a fact that I know very well. Babel's metallurgy department will close in 8 years, due to declining standards. In the future, the training academy will become a training academy, best blacksmith in the world. After a month of hesitation, In-cheon hesitated to offer. Maybe the future will be the best. When I heard this, the car came in. You're wrong, Professor. The best place would not be Vulcan. He pointed at himself with a confident look. It's the 3 parrots I'm about to enroll in. At that moment, the car announced, Professor. You're wrong. He looked straight at In-cheon without wavering. The best place would be not Vulcan, but 3 Bells. Where I'm about to enroll. He was startled when he heard this. The eyes fluttered distinctly. In-cheon stared at the car. Un with suspicion mixed with wonder. See clearly In-cheon's squint. The keen gaze that probes you. Slow voice full of challenge. In that case, you need to be a valedictorian first. Are you confident? I didn't hesitate to say, of course. At least at the student level. There's no one better than me. His face changed in In-cheon. He asked in a serious voice, do you know the process of selecting a valedictorian? New students of the faculty at Babel know. Get the question. The car quickly reads the information, just like the machine. They'll choose a valedictorian candidate, department through an additional exam, between the 2 leading students. And from those candidates, who will become valedictorian is determined. That's what I know. Babel Academia divided its students broadly into 3 faculties. Faculty Fighting Egaku, Faculty Supporter. Borsaba School of Technology. In each department, dozens are interwoven like roots. And becoming a valedictorian of the faculty. It means that you have received an evaluation, the best in countless of those disciplines, and recognized by all 3 of them as top talent. Back to the In-cheon reality to reveal the tension. His arms were so tight that they trembled. In-cheon turned and looked straight at the car. His voice dropped with sincerity. I'll say it again. Not as one. The professor is a former blacksmith. He continued in a depressed tone. Even if you become the dean of the department, it's also hard to expect success as a blacksmith in this place. Let's go to the academy. In-cheon nodded as if she had decided for him. That's the way for you. Si-han looked at the man in front of him, with rare respect. In my mind, set the future of the future up on your own place. He's a decent man. After a moment of silence, he once again said that the environment doesn't matter. Like I just said. Your eyes light up. The exuberant voice echoed Babio. The place I am about to enroll in will soon be the best. In-cheon is confused. where he will be the best. Finally, the corners of his mouth popped open to show interest. Incheon couldn't help but laugh. He reached out his hand to Hun at the same time. It's a statement that goes beyond hubris, but for some reason, I don't hate it. He reached out his hand. My sincere eyes look at you. I'm looking forward to working with you. Hun did not hesitate to tighten his grip. Take my hand, Incheon. You're holding his hand. The corners of my mouth pop up, too. The twinkling words appeared. Right in front of you. A link with the intern needle target has been set up. Link with the cup creator. Frog kissing now in level 1. Is extracting links from the intern needle target. I just saw the car squeezing my arm. An object hovering right in the middle of your hand. A block of metal appears. Smoldering fire burning inside. When the system describes the iron bond. High quality grade fire bearing. Low medium, a type of metal possessing flame. It has the same properties as wood, and can store fire inside. I just saw the car's arms covered in flames. To see that scene, the other guy's teeth gritted. What useless trivia is he using? Meanwhile, you're still attentively activating the metal blocks. Now the iron ore starts spinning around. The car grinned. His eyes glowed with a burning spark. At the same time, some people are still staring at you. Over here, Michael raised his eyebrows slightly. He's going to create a resonance by using the same type of property with mineral ore star. How stupid. The basic principle is to use it, pure magic power, to make the original minerals resonate with each other. He silently made a judgment. If you force it that way, sooner or later the magical elements will explode. Loss of control. Come to think of it. Michael grinned. You idiot. He was about to cause an accident. Then suddenly the car swung its arms forward. I just saw your arm covered in scales. The whole space sank into silence. Sun remained in the position of witnessing that scene. Two people, Incheon and Yoonha, hastily bowed, while Michael rolled his eyes. What is this terrible firepower? In that moment a sword was formed. As soon as I saw it, the car was moving slowly. The system's voice immediately reaches the ear. You've removed the flamethrower. The equipment handling process is completed. Congratulations, you successfully crafted a fireproof sword case. In front of a horrifying scene, eyes wide open. Michael was so shocked that his whole body froze. He couldn't help but feel a little confused. There's no way he really succeeded. The system screen immediately flashed, equipped with a fireproof sword case. Low-quality rare rank fire accumulator sword case. A Saabard gets a negative concentration of firepower. It's capable of storing and amplifying psychic energy. Fire properties. Allows for the development of special fire skills. At the same time, a cold sweat rolled down the temple. He's finished the synthesis. What's that speed? He looked dumbfounded at the palm of his hand. Crazy inside, screaming, this is completely absurd. It's supposed to be the phantom elements. France must explode, right? Think about it more, and more confused. Or I've got something wrong. It was at this moment that Michael jumped. He hurriedly screamed, wait. Stop your hand. If you dare to charge the original spirit into those magic stones, I'd only see the ball in my hand. He began to vibrate violently. His vision was suddenly obscured by the heat. And then the sphere exploded. Shrapnel splattered. A loud explosion echoed through space, fluttered every time. That afternoon in the exam hall of the refining department, the scene moves into the room, where pieces of crystal are scattered across. The ground is over here. Han appeared with a scratched face. After a moment of silence, Incheon hesitated to speak. Normally, after going through a thorough evaluation process, he paused for a moment. Tight teeth, as if trying to swallow. The frustration can't be hidden. One of you will be named. Appointment for the position of the faculty. Incheon is looking straight at Hun. However, what happened was unfortunate. In that moment, he closed his hand tightly to his bleeding arm. His eyes stopped at Han and continued. I can't believe it. The exam ends with one side giving up. Michael bit his teeth at the same time. Despite his frustration, he tried to keep his voice calm. Some students have been injured while taking the exam. The best way is to cancel the results and set a test date. I heard it again. Incheon turned around. He seriously objected. We have no right to reject the results of an exam that has been taken. In the end, it's not that the accident came from your carelessness. Han Sao, he tilted his head. His sharp knife-like gaze streamed straight towards Incheon. The cold voice reached Professor Kim's bones. He seemed to care more about the score than the score. The danger of my students. As soon as he finished, he was silent. His eyes glowed with anger. Michael stood up now. He thonged down, continue to drill, let's talk about it. Michael walked slowly down the hall. Eyes straight into the car, as if to uncover your secret. Speed resonance, fastest ever recorded in the academic world. It was 5 minutes, but, speaking of which, he's tight, his voice is almost screaming. A freshman just got his feet wet in school. It can transport magic again, and achieve instant resonance. Do you think this is possible at all? The original nature of the alchemical forging method. It's a technology that's created to make weapons, only by magic, in situations that can't be forged, usually therefore, the core of alchemy training. It's not the traditional forgery of conquering, or by the life of a blacksmith. It's about finding the source of the mineral core and reinvigorating it, latent vitality, inside itself. That's really the essence of alchemy. The car had only one thought. What I just did, it's a testament to that. And this is also the answer that the workers will soon find out after countless experiments. Mistake. Here's a simple method. It's going to be the norm in a few years. So have nothing to hide. I don't have time to teach an old man. Conservatives just yelled and don't listen. You finally spoke coldly. I don't understand what the hell you're doing. Listen to this. The corner of Michael's mouth popped, just as I predicted. You have used deceptive tricks. He laughed softly, his scornful, cynical smile. A new soldier, there is no family, and yet, forged with a rare rank. If there was an intention to cheat, you should at least do something about it. That makes a little sense. Carr frowns. His eyes darken because he is offended, but the voice is still restrained. What are you talking about? It's at this point. Interrupting a tense conversation. You're right, this is ridiculous. Michael bowed very low, but the corners of her lips were filled with calculation. I know you'll surely understand this. Principal. Really, this is ridiculous. We need to disqualify Li Sihan for cheating and retesting. Meanwhile, she casually passed him by. Stop walking in front of your sword. In Xian bewildered, spying on her principal. Now, carefully grab the sword. A whisper came out of her. It's unbelievable. I can see the water coming down from my mouth, thank you. And then suddenly she's pointing at the car. Student Cup Car Hun. Thanks for this sudden offer. Eyes as bright as a child discovering a treasure. Can I have a bite? No, you don't just have to lick one. Can we taste it once? The words were over. Michael was almost dumbfounded. His eyes glowed with bewilderment. Meanwhile, Incheon is staring at her daze. Try licking a star. Suddenly a peaking sound came from inside Yoonha's stomach. I heard that. The whole group was frozen. Later that afternoon in the city center. The car is leaving the academy. They stand under the red sunset. Paper on thought. Of course, the final fine-tuning stitch is still quite immature. The level of perfection has not yet reached the final level. Think of this car trying to calm itself. Even so, he laughed softly. Air in the wind. The look on his face was a gladness that was hard to hide. I saw the old man's face trembling with anger. The principal's sucking is worth it. A passerby looks at the car with his eyes. I whispered to my friend. He's laughing. He looks perverted. The friend hurried quickly. The other is strange. Don't look them in the eye. Just ignore them. Back to the car. I suddenly stopped to mention it. Dad, this name sounds familiar. I don't remember where I met you. Then the car frantically clapped its hands on its forehead. And at the same time, constantly muttering, 3 suck, 3 suck, 3 suck. The image of a past life is suddenly recreated. Luce whispers with angry voice. Back when I was 3, cheap weapons I can buy. After doing heavy physical work on orders, that bastard suddenly exploded. And then he screamed. A tone of resentment. That's why I got burned. And fall into this miserable situation. Hell, if it wasn't for that guy on the other side. Sun looked at Louis with cold eyes. Back to reality. Your footsteps stopped. A horrible thought flashed in Sihan's mind. The name of the blacksmith who made Luce a tyrant. Violent permanent disability. That's 3 suckers. Maybe that's the guy. Thinking of this, I frowned slightly. My top goal in this life is to quickly reach out and touch the 3 dogs. But with violence, it's probably no longer necessary. The car grinned coldly. The eyes become sinister. A thought in my head. Because as long as I can stop my dad from acting, Louis will never go the wrong way. Briefly, to the refinery department's classroom. On the inside turned to angry screams. You want to let the students drink. The car became the valedictorian of our department. A representative spoke up. A slow but suspicious voice. Professors from other departments spoke up. Are you serious about this decision? The person next to me hesitated. Even if you mean it, it's a little too much. Slowly put your hands on the table. Calm eyes swept through each face. A deep but loud voice. Does anyone here have an objection? An old professor gently shook his head. His eyes were a little reserved. The voice that seemed to compromise wasn't quite. Instead of protesting, Michael interrupted. It's more like honest advice. He continued. Anyway, principal. You've only been in office for a short time. When I heard that, my eyes changed. It's anger that doesn't hide. Another person continued. That's right, we admit, his equipment is impressive. But maybe we need to take a closer look. Even more, Incheon cut in. The professor said, that's because you haven't seen it. I saw Lee Si-hun's flaming sword. Although the workmanship may be rudimentary. But if you look at the way ghosts, the operating force, and its compatibility with the 5 colors, the fire sword, one of them couldn't help but wonder. It's amazing. But to be honest, I'm still concerned about the level, the reality of it. Thank you for speaking up at the same time. This weapon is probably, it's less than 50% level of finishing that Lee Si-hun, expectations, and the lack thereof. It shows its enormous potential. She didn't forget to emphasize every single word. If after having seen, the room's air was frozen, as it slowly continues. Every word fell as heavy as a sledgehammer. Valedictorian Lee Si-hun's performance is coming soon. He still can't accept my decision. And then she made a big statement. We will immediately relinquish our position as principal. In the middle of the giant square, Lewis's voice echoed from the missing magic. The sound is long, as solemn as the ancient oath. 54 years ago, the heavens have descended the Tower of Heroes for the evolution of humanity. The air suddenly down when the magic image reappears. The sky is water. His voice turned heavier. In return for that, hell has unleashed the swamp of chaos. It is the middle of all life. While we find new opportunities to pursue a great disaster at the same time, to stand in the center of the hall, Lewis seriously teaches a very eloquent voice. The bell is also formed in the same fluid flow. It's the largest academy in history. It's built right in the middle of the Pacific. Until now, Bell has trained countless outstanding heroes. Speaking of which, he's very pleased, typical of the ascended emperor, Sir Louis Suber. And then you'll be a part of them. Lewis's voice became earnest. Let's move forward. For everyone who has come to the academy, these 3 bells, his sound sword, as sacred as an oath on the battlefield. That's the noble mission of a hero. The man who spoke was the rising emperor. Louis Subert stood silently in the crowd. The silent gaze of Louis in the audience. A whisper full of calculation, when looking directly like this. He seems to be a very kind person. In fact, he's not exactly a gentle old man. Your talk show host comes out front. Hand raised microphone. Next we will come to the performance of the best valedictorians. This year's enrollment. Invite students who are valedictorians of the faculties to step up. The audience got the call. The boys and girls step into the stands one by one. The car looked at the proud backs. His eyes sank as the memory of his past life passed. Valedictorian of star science. In a previous life I asked, why are so many so proud? Just because they're doing well in the academy. It's at this point that the host is shouting. Then right now, we're going to start the skills demonstration. He rolled his eyes around the corner. Wiggle up a wry smile. To see this scene, looks like we figured out the problem. At the same time, the presenter raised his voice. The sample that's being used for today's demonstration, it's none other than this masterpiece, ladies and gentlemen. The words just finished automaton 9 immediately appeared. As soon as I saw it, he's excited to introduce one. Golem comes from the factory, then automaton number 9. He even has the ability to fight, equivalent to a hero, plus he is over here. The car's eyes were glued to the Model 9 automaton. I laughed for interest. Is a specialized automaton for star combat. Because it's not equipped with any specific weapons. I would probably use martial arts. The host reached out his hand towards the entrance to the arena. The first opener. It's a representative from the combat department. His voice was so dramatic. The presentation will be performed by the Ada valedictorian, of Jack Myers valedictorian Aga of Jack Myers. Right then Jack with automaton. Number 9 appeared in the stands. Parhun each other eye watching dark-haired teen step out. If it is Jack, he seems to be the 3rd son of the family. Miles is right. Rumor has it that he's a weirdo when it comes to martial arts, even though he was born into a family known for discipline. Looks like that rumor is true. At that moment the host shouted. Then we'll immediately be on the opposite side. The automaton's eyes lit up. That's when he signaled the start of the fight. Now the words are over. It turns its toes on the ground. Just saw the automaton rush towards the kill. It's like a tornado. Immediately it hunts down a punch. Jack immediately turned the dodge while Automaton frantically swung his fist at him. Jack jumped down below, toes rubbing on the ground. He raised his head and looked at it. It's my turn to show. Finished talking. Jack did not hesitate to go straight to the automaton. I just saw him clenching his palms. Immediately Jack punches straight into its body. To see that scene. The students are almost dead on this side. Jack still frantically attacks automaton. Parhun, keep your eyes wide open when you see the speed of the explosion. What is this? I remember him dying early, while he was in class in the mid-20s. But think about this. I can't help but feel a little confused. At this size, he must be a genius. It only appears once in 3 years. The car whispered in disbelief. Why in a previous life he only stopped at a level? Back to Jack, he grinned coldly. With just that much. At the last minute, Jack's wing-end battle with automaton. Just saw its head splashed up the middle stitch, and fall to the ground. Jack has the rights. Standing upright in the fading dust. He breathed out softly. It's been a long time since I've been able to move comfortably, and so the host's voice trembled. It's true, he almost screamed with excitement. It's an amazing and visually stunning performance. Student Jack, he knocked out an automaton. Have the power of a C-class hero in one breath. The host turned to the slippers. He couldn't help but exclaim. It's true that the class of the valedictorian is different. Over here the car frowned softly and thought. He really made a big explosion. Right from the beginning. The next person, there will be no small amount of pressure. The voice of joy echoed again. It's a different shade this time. Calmer and more dignified. The next program. Please welcome valedictorian of our support department. The person performing the performance will be the student in out. Erica, he raised his eyebrows when he looked at the girl, long black hair coming out. Turns out she's the valedictorian of her pressure. There's nothing to worry about. Erica, chief female of the Ino clan. One of the 3 most famous families in Japan. She's not a pinnacle conqueror, but has built a reputation as a hero. Class with weapon grade, mythical, but, in the end, she's turned into a ghost. He was destroyed by his own family. The car makes a decision in its head. Because her future will be devoured by wolves, so the connection does not bring what's good for me. Then suddenly Erika turned and looked at him. I see that the car is holding people. His eyes looked at her. I watched in Erika's footsteps. I'm as confused as Sil. She just looked at me. At the same time, the host announced in a loud voice, Automaton. The model used for this performance is 9. It's armored. With a defense that's 5 times stronger than a comma, compared to the previous version. He excitedly screamed for an hour, shaking the whole space. Let's see the students in out. It'll bring you a surprise. And then suddenly Erika took out a crow. Her eyes flashed like a demon. Softly muttered the command forward. The word ended, and the crow immediately flew outside. I just saw it soar into the air, at the same time around the automaton, in front of the surprise. The car's full of a crow. At the same time, the automaton looked up at it. His eyes flashed a strange red light on the side. Observe the automaton. Breed for judgment. The automaton has moved into a defensive state. Absolutely, it's going to be very difficult to break through the solid barrier. That's especially true when it's a defensive line. Back towards Erika corner mouth she softly takes machine. Suddenly the crow spread its wings. Its legs outstretched to reveal its sharp nails. One of the crow's eyes also glowed blue. Under the sun, it spreads its wings. Then suddenly the crow sped up, straight down to the automaton. At the bottom, the whole space fell into chaos, and dust splattered. Seeing that scene, the car was almost stunned. On this side of the automaton's body there were cracks. The power came out. Since when did his body appear a hole? The automatic body immediately fell to the ground. Erika then shook the crow's hand and returned. The host again cheered. It's amazing. It's extraordinary with a single blow. The armored automaton has fallen. She pierced through a C-class opponent. Happy group of people shouting Erika is so good. Back in the car, he smiled wryly. This with a boiling atmosphere like this. I have a feeling it will be. Just show off your weapon and it's over. It's at this point that the host is shouting. And finally the valedictorian of the technology department. Boshiba would like to invite students to drink on car. Right now the host is excited to introduce. Continue the program. We will begin performance section of Boshiba Technology Valedictorian. Practitioner Lee Hun in another development. Number 1 performance monitoring. Louis Subert watching the battle through the screen. He couldn't help but laugh softly. The level of the key players this time is really impressive. How long has it been since we have seen one? Science comes from key, refined it. Louis couldn't help but feel a little nervous. Is the pressure too much for that boy? Next to him is performance supervisor number 2, Principal Rio Anha. She assured me there won't be any problems. What problems arise? The crowd boomed as the car came into the light. The presenter laughed implicitly. Will he bring a performance? Far beyond the explosion of Jack and Erika, not here just now. Someone can't help but feel. He's so handsome. The host was suddenly curious. Is a rare equipment. It's very rare in refinement. Excited schoolgirls shout. At the same time, the car pulled out its sword. He swung his sword to the side, eyes fixed on the opponent at that moment. Image of the sword appeared right behind the car with countless functions. A male student speaks up, eyes half appreciative and half skeptical. Yes, a new one. Students who make rare grade items, it's a miracle. The person next to me hesitated, but compared to other departments, it still seems to lack a breakthrough. A howl, the noise spread as some practitioners were disappointed. It's a rare item that seems a bit monotonous. Anyway, the previous departments were not performing. It's too flashy. I can't help but feel a little confused. I don't know him either. What are you going to show in this show? Really want to know. In a corner of the stands, Michael softened his lips. His eyes sparkled with ambition. That is on my side. He stared at the car. Fun with sinister eyes. With this heard, the Boshipa headmaster's chair will surely belong to me. The opposite of Michael, his face as calm as the ocean's waves. Back to the stands. The host quickly announced. To cater to this performance, model number 10, with the same power as a D-type hero. Did you suddenly interrupt? The car raised its head. His eyes flashed like a knife out of its shell. The words silenced the whole square. Let's change to pattern 8. And please arm it with armor. The host of the show. I almost dropped the list in my hand, stuttering in shock. What is he asking for? Model number 8 can sometimes withstand attacks from heroes. Grade B. He even asked her to wear more clothes. The armor again. Why he hesitated. And then the host hesitated. It's hard to prepare that request immediately. I can do that. Who thinks in their heart? Are you trying to ruin it? Not this show. It is at this time that Inchan speaks. I've taken care of everything before. A sudden metallic entity appear by voice. He looked up at the automaton. This automaton is now fully armored. The host was stunned to see that. He's already prepared for it. He looked around anxiously in a hesitant voice. If you were so determined. At the same time, the car looked towards Incheon. He was silent, expecting eyes turned towards him from the Hall of Honor. The host excitedly screamed. So let's just blow it up. He grinned furiously, and now the game is over. I don't know what's going to happen. And then the host started shouting. As soon as the battle's bells rang, Incheon was tense at the moment. He whispered, let's make a mess. The car is laughing. He glanced at the stands where Incheon are observing. A light smile. I should meet his expectations a little bit. I saw the sword in your hands radiate a violent spirit. Harhun gently bent over. The energy flows in a circle. To see that scene, Shaq boomed with excitement. It's crazy. At the same time, he licked his lips with contempt. It's just an external coat, no real power. Someone who lacks magic. What kind of a drum can it be? The flares of fire in the 5 colors. Fire swords are inherently of conflicting characteristics. This explosion can be disastrous for users if you don't control it with a huge amount of magic power. However, by leveraging the ability to store the fire of the sword, fire accumulator, and the technique of bringing the fire chain into the car is grunting right now. The charging process is complete. On the opposite side, the automaton has activated the barrier. Meanwhile, he swung the sword. Activate the flame. The trick has just been done. It made the whole crowd rock. In the car, Han formed a thought. If you start a fire right now, the fire that's compressed inside will. His eyes fixed on the automaton's protective screen. The car muttered in the decisive moment, exploded in the stands. Michael's face turned pale, like noticing something unusual. The host was gaping in surprise. What the hell is this crazy guy doing? For a while after the thick dust melts away, the car slowly pulled back the sword in its hand. Then I opened my mouth and breathed out in a hurry. The car directed its gaze along the cut in the yard. They seemed to have gone a little too far. Aware of the critical situation, the host was in a hurry. Technical support team, be in the central hall soon. Immediately he hurriedly announced. With that performance, the competition was over. Forever a while later, the high heels echoed through the hall. Inside the car, there was a look of confusion. As soon as I see you bow your head. I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. After calling you here, I just had to help clean up the rubble at the ring. The car scratched its head awkwardly. Please don't worry, I'm the one who has to apologize. I'm sorry for causing this. That's in the central hall. I lowered my voice. I should have controlled the power a little better. She's a little confused about what you're talking about, Student Hunkar. I'm confused to ask again. Do you think I called you here to scold you? Thank you for immediately denying. Of course not. No, the real reason I invited you here is. At that time, her stomach was planted again. The strange noise caused the car to catch people. Thank you for hiding the shame. I mean, She finally made an offer. We're willing to pay 10 times the market price. Yunhe looked straight at him with determined eyes. Do you agree to give up the fire sword and sheath to burn for me? The car opened its eyes for a moment. What at that moment? Faber link with Yunhe has been established. Anha suddenly planted people up. She said in a heavy voice. That's a really cool set of equipment. The system screen lit up in front of the car. A contract with the Rio Anha object has been established. Contract level with creator Lee Si-hun. It is now level 1. He opened his eyes wide, his pupils trembled with wonder. That fast. In a previous life I have to give her a lot of weapons. Only once will this link form. Parhun replied awkwardly thing. He secretly comforted himself. It's good luck anyway. Lines of magical characters flashed before my eyes. System sound echoes steadily. Are doing contract extraction. The notification voice becomes more formal. It's like announcing a rare treasure. Proceed to take the contract from the target Rio Unha. Premium rated voracious contract. Excellent quality. A kind of iron generating heat by consuming other metals. It will corrode any iron material touching, and absorb the core into yourself. Absorb iron to make minerals. The car looked at the object in front of it. That's it. It's at this moment. Thanks again, cover up. Are you going to sell that to me? He immediately shook his head. Not really. She raised her eyebrows a little when she heard this, but you just said it's done. Suddenly outside infused with sound. Dear Principal, this is Kim In-chun. He looked up. Clear voice, formal. It's like giving orders that can't be delayed. The president of the academy announced that the awards ceremony will to be conducted right now. Enter and turn to Hun Kar. Can I take the student with me, please? She nodded softly. The gaze is as deep as the undulating lake of night. I understand. The car quickly turned outside. He sneaked back. So we'll see you the next day. Over here, my stomach is still crying for help. It's the heart of the Babioa Academy. Ancient main building, the magic mansion. When the scene moves inside the mansion. At this time the car hurriedly followed Incheon from behind. He just walked and reminded me in a low voice. His eyes were more serious than usual. Pay attention to the ceremony. Standing in front of the president of the academy. He's not just, it's kind enough to ignore you ruining the hall. In the performance, Incheon stopped for half a beat and continued. But also a person of class, completely different from us. He smiled softly, his eyes were unusually calm. You don't have to worry too much. Farhan quickly stepped into Louis. Look at the teenager in front of you. You must be Lee Si-hun. Emperor ascended. Principal Louis Academy. Before we turn back time. He is the one. The hero was killed in a lonely battle. Against the ghost god is one of the 6 great gods. His fleeting appearance. Suddenly reappear in memory. There's a feeling of exasperation in my heart. He's a perfectionist. Louis is speaking now. The weapons that you're showing off today. It's all very interesting. He suddenly sighed. I can't say I have no regrets. But I have high expectations for you. Sorry to hear that the car is holding people in place. Inside you waves like a smoldering fire in a smithy, even if you are psychologically prepared. But it still feel like throwing fire sword and sword shell, put the fire back in the forge. That's when Louis made the offer. So in recognition of your talent and your efforts, I will give you 2 rewards. He's seriously asking the question. Tell me what you need. The car opened its eyes. For the first time, the surprise was on my face. Always calm. You get 2 rewards. I quickly replied, clear voice and without hesitation. I want the rewards. It can help increase the number of ghosts, your strength, and ability to remember. The word just ended. Louis threw his arm into the air. It's just a sign that's formed in the middle of space. The car stared at 2 treasures. Black dress jelly ranked hero. Excellent quality. A piece of sock bearing the light of ink falling from the night. It has the characteristic of swallowing everything except darkness. It's capable of absorbing magic from anything. Contact with the crystal. Avery dream boss hero rank, average quality. It's the ivory of the 3 cub that feeds on dreams. It contains the magic of dreams, capable of crossing the line between reality and dreams. Help connect with dreams. By using the magical power of dreams. He put on a bewildered face. This thing is black and precious stones, but dreamy elephants are much harder to find. Par smirking smile. It's a little difficult to control right now. But I've got an idea to use them. He watched me for a while longer. The voice is lighter but still full of weight. Are you satisfied with them? The car bowed its head in place of appreciation. They're really amazing. As soon as you leave, someone's voice boomed. What are you thinking? This mirror is born in doubt. About being alone. That boy received 2 awards. This is not like your usual style. You at all. Luz responds over the speaker. We give them simply, because that child has the ability to understand them. Get the answer. It can't help but feel that way. I'd always felt like he was a young man. He had a low voice. It just proves that he's deeply involved. That even you can feel it. Louis looks at the car, hidden in the ancient hallway. More, we can't even understand the depth of that teenager. The scene gathered at the mansion called the Magi. Inside the classroom, a group of boys constantly discussing. This time the boy happily approached Han. Where do you want to go for lunch? He refused without hesitation. I'm sorry, I have a date with Hogwarts today. The boy finished listening and opened his mouth in amazement. To meet the third-year valedictorian of the shipper department. Of course, Han replied. It's just that the two families have a close relationship, so we meet often. He said he'd give me some life advice. It was at the academy that we first met. He stepped a little closer. Then I can come with you if I can. At that moment the car went inside. I glanced at Han with cold eyes. As soon as I saw the car, the entire classroom went silent. My eyes are once again fixed on Han. He suddenly felt a chill in his back. What's with that weird look? I see that the car is grinning. It seems that you're starting to recognize your place. Over here, the teeth are closed because self-love is rubbed. Wow, you have to give in to a man like that. A loud opening of the classroom door. Aintian enters with a definitive gait. Stern eyes swept across the room. You all need to settle down. He can roll his eyes around the classroom. It seems like everyone's fully focused. The Aintian turns its eyes towards the class and continues, because this is the first class. We'll start with a self-introduction. He seriously introduced, this middle ingot is a material. It's called a reflective alloy. It's sensitive to magic. It's tens of times larger than conventional ore. That's why, if you transfer the magic power inside this way, come here. Aintian emphasized every word. A weapon in the mind. You will be easily formed. And at the same time, the car stared at him with respect. It's not natural. He's on the list. 100 of the world's top artists. But when checking the contract stone, I have dimly realized, like this person is a real talent. Aintian stopped a beat. A deep voice with philosophical depth. Due to its hypersensitivity, so it's very difficult to use as a combat weapon, but it reflects the characteristics of the subconscious, help users see themselves. He suddenly raised his voice. That's why do we call things made of alloys? Reflections are alternative egos. Self-introduction of the training faculty will be replaced by the construction of these egos. At the last minute, Aintian did not forget to remind, product it will be on display in the main building in a week. So do your best. The group of students joined in. The car's eyes stopped at the boy. I was thinking, where this reflective alloy is solid, valued in excess of 10 million won per piece, that's the style of the three bios, even the greeting is luxurious. At the same time, he jumped as he grabbed the sword. Seeing that I sighed endlessly. It's a spinning car, who sighs helplessly. No one here owns it. The most important talent. Aintian spoke at the last moment. Buy me a glass of wine. I quickly replied, yes, the car is thinking. I was the head of the department anyway. There's nothing to hide anymore. I had a bold thought. If you did. The car's cubibles lit up the fire of ambition. Should I play a big game? And then suddenly there's a big explosion right inside the classroom. At the same time, a male student was sarcastic. There's actually a lot of people gathered here. Maybe it's because of the power of the divorce. Then he continued with a piercing and irritating voice. It's funny when they keep flattering that his class is different here and there, while he's also a freshman. That's it. The person next to me seems to agree completely. The male parasite who approached him nodded slightly. That's what I'm trying to say. Two people look at the object. Aintian's words came to mind. Even though there was an unusual incident, occurs during the manufacturing process, when it self-absorbs 19 correction alloys, it's nearby, but we appreciate it, that it was this that showed the genius of the students, Lee Sun. So we decided to show it as it is. A boy laughed. The ironic voice echoed through the crowd. Talk about it. It's definitely just a coincidence. It's because of some skill. The person next to you tilts his chin towards the work, eyes full of doubt and envy. It's not this, it just happens. It's because he's using too many alloys at the same time. Joe or what? Male students squeeze in. It's been a long time. I just saw a valedictorian from the refinery department. Maybe they're trying to promote him as a genius. It's true. Just in time, Raka suddenly spoke up. I have a slightly different view. Jack approached him with a grin. I also agree with your opinion. Talking here, Jack, mere voice. It seems that the amount of projection alloy that's out there right now, it's still not enough to show off Lee Hun's true potential. In another development, only saw the hammer's face pounding down. The car was sweating a lot of cold sweat right now. The man lowered his voice. His eyes flashed with wonder. I can't believe you timed it. Until now. There's not even a small amount of error. No comma, no second appears. The assistant looked at him bewildered. We can finally show to teach something for an excellent child like this. He laughed softly. Let's just skip the part of him. Then turned to the house sign. Anyone want to see a sample show? After a while, Assistant Han announced. The whole class is over here. The car's eyes are still fixed on the hammer. He stared at the metal pieces under the table. Without any hesitation, the car Hunnigan held up the hammer. Assistant Han spoke up. Are you trying to break it? He paused and bowed politely to the assistant. He moved closer and closer at the same time. We need to hand over these items after forging class. Don't ruin them this week. Cars tilt their heads and hand them over. The assistant showed a depressed face. You think the students were to get the budget to operate? 3 Bell will provide support based on the number of weapons sold to the outside market. He thought for a moment and then questioned. Then you're exactly unhappy. About what at the moment? Is it because of your body or the amount of mana? Before the unexpected question, the car laughed softly. Now the biggest problem is my body. At that moment my heart is filled with complicated thoughts. To build training tools, I need to make a stone. But I lack the strength to be able to do that job. Assistant Han Taikan, the head's voice was as open as offering a tempting shortcut. If that's really necessary for forging. After a month of thinking, he came up with a solution. It's not the use of augmentation spells. It's faster than physical training. I can't help but laugh when I hear this. They've never even thought of that option. Because this is how I've always avoided before turning back time. Lips Car Hun, it feels like you've found a new way. It's because I went back to the past. And I'm currently having physical problems. I can completely wear the sewn jelly while under the action of strengthening talisman. He bowed his head slightly. Thank you very much for this helpful advice. Assistant Han gently shook his head. It's no big deal. And the car heads up. His eyes fell on the sword in his hand. While you do the casting, I didn't forget to remind you that I'm using mana. That's too much than necessary. Let's bring it down. It's about 70% of the current level. And instead, focus your power on just 1 point. Before leaving, Parhun confirmed firmly. Doing so will be effective. It's better for you right now. When he heard this, he laughed. A new student just pointed out to the market. Assistant Hem turned and looked at the hammer. Right now the sky is getting hotter and hotter. Fabio always encourages active self-learning for each individual student. The voice of the system. The door is starting to open. The teacher's voice was constantly moving too. You have the right to register for classes from other specialists, or even take dozens of courses in a single semester. But you have to. You must complete all specialized courses, and if you accumulate enough 3 times bad grades, you will be forced out of school immediately. Everything is completely free. But you have to be responsible for your choices. Waiting for the radio to sound. The next stop is our area for magic department. Right now the car is coming out of the train. As soon as you raise your head, Erica suddenly appeared. Boy blocking the way. Don't stand in this provocative voice. Stay out of the way. Par frowns. Who are these guys? Where does nature come from? He reminded me in a loud voice. It's you who need to get out of the way. That's it. The boy's body trembled with anger. Erika stepped closer. She was curious about where you were going. Before Erika's sudden act, male students are bewildered. Lady Erika is over here. Honest car to the magic department. I'm wondering, is there a minor that I can sign up for? Can you learn more? So she definitely made an offer. Then let me show you the way. He hurried into Miss Erika. The meeting will take place immediately. She definitely let go. You guys go on your own. The student looks urgent, but the elders told me they really want you to be there. Erika glanced through her cold eyes. A calm voice, but not allowed to refute. I'm not interested. Back to the car. Your eyes don't flinch. Then they both left quickly. Clothed schoolboy calls Big Lady Erika. When the space becomes quiet, Erika turned to him. Her eyes became more serious. You're exactly looking for a subclass. How's it? Sun replied slowly. I'm trying to learn more about spells. Strengthen her. Keep asking more. Specifically what kind of enhancement effect? Ek calmly replied. Something that's capable of increasing physical capacity, but it should not affect the process. When I heard this, Erika suggested. Then use the boundary art. The car is full of people. It's not magic. It's usually only for defense. She slowly explained. It can vary widely. It depends on how you use it. Erika took out a thin sheet of paper from her pocket, and at the same time, I'll give you an example like this. She handed me the paper. Try to tear this paper. Farhan, pick up. Feel a thin layer of magical power surrounding the surface. A glimpse of surprise. Did she just make it more durable? No, that's not really the case. It still maintains its properties. By original, it will automatically become. It's much stronger when it's hit by a strong external force. The car stared at the piece of paper and analyzed it. This technique is extremely suitable for forging work because it requires a lot of control. Erika laughed softly. For these kinds of complex applications, you may need the help of a professor. I looked at the piece of paper. The heart of doubt arises that this magic formula looks very familiar. And in the meantime, she's relentless. Professor of structural engineering. The woman is married to a man of relatives of my family. So I can introduce you to him in person. If you want to talk about this, Erika, raise your voice in exchange for opening. And then suddenly the car was buzzing, and it was it. The piece of paper was immediately torn apart in front of the scene. She couldn't help but feel a little confused. You were able to understand the art, the boundaries of the family, only in that short period of time. And you've even solved it. 4 mornings at the magic department of your university. The appearance of the car Hun next door. She's right in the middle of campus. It's taken everyone by surprise. Become the focus of curious eyes, and the whispers stir the chatter endlessly. Why, Erika? I was with a guy in another department. Looks like yesterday I also saw them together. If you remember correctly, at the last show, they also appeared together. Between the eyes and the sound, it's all over the campus. I can only sigh helplessly. It's true that rumors are spreading. It's so fast. These people like to get involved in other people's business. I don't know. It's ridiculous. If Erika really has feelings for me, there must be a link between the two. I don't know them anyway. Based on what criteria to select people to class? I signed up for this class, but they ask, you have to go through a test first. Erika immediately introduced herself. This is where the structural exam takes place. Boundary. The car began to glance sideways, glancing along the observation. I wonder if this forest is. The other contestants kept yelling furiously. God damn it. It's in a remote neighborhood. I quietly watched the forest in front of me and thought, we're playing a treasure hunt. To take the exam, or something. This is starting to get annoying. Maybe they're using borders to hide something. Or the car accidentally stumps on a strange spot. That the barrier surrounding the forest immediately shatters. As soon as the boundary breaks at the foot of the car, the assistant immediately appeared and announced, you've passed the test. I was in a deep shock just in time to utter my astonishment. What? The robot looks up at the helper. The teacher is standing at the desk. With a suspicious look, the lady expressed her interest. To the valedictorian of our department, Professor Perry Robots, specialized in boundary structure at her magic faculty. He put the phone in front of him. And the answer is yes. Look at this list. He just looked at the list on his phone. The assistant teacher gave. I was filled with doubt. I was also surprised that she suddenly, to apply to a basic class like this. Thanks to that appeal, the number of contestants trebled. But I'm not happy. Because there is also an offer from the young master in out. So this year we're going to add more tests. The use of the soul labyrinth. The lost soul labyrinth. It's a kind of sensory confounding. They make people lose direction. It's just a basic boundary. But if you're blind to magic, it doesn't even recognize its presence. Witness the scene in front of you. Robert was stunned in his head. It's amazing to realize your true power. Even if the lady didn't lend a helping hand, but he can still break through the maze. It's just by instinct. He's clearly making a statement in front of the crowd. You've all made it through the first round. From now on, we will divide the class through test number 2. A student raised his hand confidently. I asked permission to do it first. The student calculated in his head. This is a golden opportunity to impress Erika. Robert nodded in agreement. The second exam is also very simple. You use your magic. I'd want to remove the trigger in front of me. I'll judge based on the time of completion. So let's do it quickly and accurately. The contest starts. A border that uses spider webs, with the center being a spider acting as the nucleus. This spider will constantly hide when you feel the magic that's going along the silk fibers. And as long as it exists, this network will regenerate itself forever. See the border in front of you. The student who had just volunteered suddenly returned to the workshop, in my head full of stress. To be able to encircle the entire magical structure in the usual way, your power is not enough. If so, I'll use speed to overwhelm it. He looked down at the clock and commented sternly, 2 minutes and 23 seconds. You need to pay more attention to understanding structure of the boundary. Anyway, this result is not so bad. The student glanced at the lady. in the hope of getting some encouragement, but Ereka's face was still expressionless. Indifferent as a lake without ripples. That the student only knows how to suck. Bow in response. I thank the professor. At that time, Robert gave a clear command. The next person, hurry up. After everyone tried, he was powerless to assert. You're all going to start with a basic class. Here's the part of Ereka in now. Let's get started. She stepped up in an unusually calm manner. Ereka, just gently raise a finger to touch the boundary. All round, the border suddenly lit up and broke into 100 pieces. In the middle of a silent space, the surrounding students' faces were dull. It was amazing right after that. The whispers began to rise like waves. How can it be so amazingly fast? She dissected the entire recit and make the boundary collapse. It's absolutely the class of valedictorians. There's a difference between the endless applause. He came slowly. Robert's eyes looked at the stopwatch. Then speak coldly. 22 seconds is good. But if you use the standard disassembly method, it's probably 2 seconds faster. Before Robert's strictness, Ereka didn't flinch. Just quietly bowed calmly in response. I'll remember this. He didn't say anything else. My eyes glanced at the next birth as a warning, implicit in his extremely high standards. The last name is Lee Si-hun. Look at the look of Si-hun coming out. Robert silently evaluated in the head. There's nothing outstanding about him. Wait and see where his strength is. Instead of rushing into magic, or perform preparatory operations, Ruon Ra, you sit down in front of the border. The sound of the crowd of students began to grow. What the hell is he doing? Maybe he didn't know the test was timed. Why is the car sitting there calmly? Your eyes don't waver. Carefully peel off each layer, structure of the energy curtain. This border has characteristics. It's very similar to desserts. It's the ability to restore itself and return to its former state, if the impact has not reached a certain threshold, to be able to forge the stone. The worker forgings must transmit all impulses at the same time, at a precise rate. Robert finally didn't have enough patience. He strode closer to questioning. What the hell are you trying to do? Listen to me. Her voice broke through. Just let him go before Ereka's powerful request. He knows nothing but silence. Robert said no more. Lips tight, and back again. And in that absolute silence, the car's mind is still operating at full speed. So if we do this, can I keep the pulse? As the force built up inside the raw, instead of crumbling or dissolving as usual. As soon as your finger hits a weak pulse, the whole boundary suddenly burns violently, in the thick air of wonder. The car spoke in a normal voice. It's as if you've just done a small job. It's done. Just like this. I'm thinking in my head. I think I can forge a stone. The car stood up, walking through the rubble with indifference, as if its existence had never meant anything. The border has broken. It stood up and walked away. Ignore all the glances around the assistant teacher. Look at the clock and announce. The time is 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Robert watched the back of the car quietly leave. Think about how much time it took him. It doesn't really make any sense. This time he can take 7 minutes. But I'm sure the next time I see the same thing, he'll destroy it in the blink of an eye. He didn't just break the barrier. It's about setting up a formula on your own to harness that magic. She's watching the lonely shadow of her back, eyes full of anxiety. Ereka thought. If the skills of grieving, it's a combination of magic. I'm really afraid. Don't know what kind of horrible artifact is he going to make. A letter sent to the notice. We have received the application, forging intermediate with raw material, hero or higher from first-year student, Lee Si-hun, according to Article 8 of the Forge Safety Regulations. Those who wish to monitor, please feel free to contact us. The teacher was looking at the computer screen, just thinking, I wonder if I know this time. How many people will come here? Suddenly the messages kept coming. It surprised him so much. Your father was quick to respond, however. Absolutely, there's no one on the vice principal's side. Michael sent an application. Rumor has it the air over there is tense, because his son was relegated to second place. Looks like the rumors are true. The teacher began to think. Then we should start choosing people. He was so amazed that he glowed his eyes out. When you read the message, the principal announced that she'll be directly in charge. Intermediate forging session of students, Lee Si-hun. He suddenly appeared and spoke up. I haven't seen you in a while, Lee Si-hun. I couldn't help but feel the shock. You are busy. That's how you came to this place in person. She responded casually as the principal. I'm here to verify your abilities with my own eyes. The car did not look directly at the hum, but only responded softly. If it turns out this way, I had to put all my energy into making it. He immediately began to forge on the spot. The first step in forging desserts. There's actually a lot of ways to treat this stone. But the most difficult of these techniques is the night process must put the stone into a dark space. There's absolutely no light. Then use ghost force to separate impurities from the inkstone block, which is spreading like water. In this phase, it's just a small error in the coordination of magic. The stone will immediately freeze back and become useless. It sounds easy to say, but actually, it's no different than restructuring material again. She kept absolutely silent to observe every movement of the car, while her hands are still moving. The mind of the car Hun began to calculate coldly. A quarter is the best limit that they can achieve. If it keeps getting smaller, its performance will no longer be sufficient. Using the second step, you start to fire red, flaming directly from the palm of the hand. The terrible heat enveloped the metal. That causes the surrounding space to start twisting. With every breath of the car, you guide the magic through the red flames to filter out the appropriate firepower. This stabilized flame is called fire exchange, and it has the property of maintaining temperature, just like the moment it's just formed. The third step, using a hammer that's wrapped around the fire move to smash against the heavy squid rock. Key point is not to rest until the distortion goes down because of the nature of the fire. Just watch the red fire. A deep thought. Even though he's immune to fire, it doesn't mean he doesn't feel pain. How much has he worn himself out? He swung the hammer down repeatedly with a strange enthusiasm as the hammer thundered across the forge. It's in a hidden corner on campus. Erica stood there quietly waiting for the car. Despite the self-indulgence of the Hun car, she's standing nearby. She doesn't look very salty. Ain't he? Short yawning, long yawning, sleepy. She's standing there with a tired, sullen expression on her face. 4 hours of training have passed. The properties of the inkstone, after absorbing the flame to the extreme, is starting to change. I breathe in my mind. It's done. The distortion has stopped to melt the treated ink block. Then pour it into the prepared mold. The moody fatigue on his face immediately dissipated. Instead, it's an astonishing glance. She thought to herself, casting, not forging. The properties will change because of the darkness deep inside the mold. What the hell is he thinking? The car was about to embark on the fourth step. Suddenly he stopped talking. Don't ignore the words of her steel drawer. I still don't stop. In the head of the car Hun, now it's just numbers and structure. The magic runs slowly, slowing down the chain is and the inkstone. With a formula, break the barrier and build a magic circuit. In that short period of time, when the magic circuit just takes shape, in the momentary transformation of the inkstone, everything suddenly calmed down in the hands of the final product. It's a colorful ink spider bracelet, deep black and deep claw. As soon as the ring is formed, a mechanical sound echoed, breaking the silent atmosphere. Notification panel of unexpected system appeared before my eyes. Permanent items finished ink spider bracelet. To break down stereotypes, a bold challenge, not leaving anyone behind is essential. Although the potential of the material has not been fully exploited, but the blacksmith skill in forging new possibilities is worth it. Considered first class. You got the black soul thread skilled. Dummer level ink spider bracelet. Medium quality. A bracelet that's made by training, forging heavy stone ink. It possesses the property of absorbing the wearer's magic power, and its weight will increase in proportion to the amount that magic absorb and store the wearer's magic power. You can use the ring of explosion right now. In the middle of the silent space, the car breathed and spoke successfully. In the midst of a still atmosphere, the sound of hunger had echoed a thick and bold blow. As if to declare to the world, it stopped. He glanced at her with a puzzled, three-dot face. While she blushes shyly. Hurry up and cover your stomach. It's like trying to hide the reflexes of the body. The car can only raise its eyes to the sky, then sigh a helpless breath. It's like seeing a legend crumbling right in front of you. Thanks, look at it and give your opinion. Isn't this a resonance phenomenon? That's impressive. It looks simple. However, its power is not so strong. If done properly, we can work towards creating an effect. Your outfit still looks normal. It's like nothing happened. Slowly bring the item in front of her, and say, I'm sorry I couldn't give you a weapon. When you're in trouble. Because I didn't know this would help. What to eat as a snack. Relieve the taste buds or not, but at least take it. The car said no more words. Just hold that position, and stare at the grace. She took the item from the driver. And suddenly activate the unique skill of the soul furnace. Thank you for tasting it and commenting. This is quite delicious. He forced your mouth to ask, really? And she said, well, metaphorically, that's what it is. It tastes like crispy crumbs. The car whispered in relief. I have a habit of making everything to Rio's taste. Then maybe I will easily raise the level. I'm connected to her. He smiled softly and said, I'm glad you like it. She nods her head gently and speaks up. Of course, I'm a little sorry to have to eat this, while the other items are in front of you. By the way, when are you going to deal with the sword? Sharp and flaming sword case. The car shook its head. His eyes remained characteristically calm when answering. I have no intention of selling them right now. Thank you for a look full of wonder. The car, and a little impatient. I'm sorry, what do you mean? Maybe the price is not high enough. I calmly reply. I'll save them for class. Ponker the car smiling and thinking. And more. There's a saying that hunger is the best spice. He nodded as a promise and said. Once I get equipped, it is worth giving to you. I'll let you know first. She blushes shy. Let's get rid of the awkwardness, and get back the attitude. I'll be looking forward to it. The training here is over. He answered. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Then let's go. Staff will come to clean up. Her hoarse voice replied. Fortunately, I didn't. I have some energy to clean up. Walking away, I suddenly floundered and fell backwards. She panicked and grabbed the car. Thanks for wondering if you are okay. You calm down and say. Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe I've mislocated my fitness a little bit. She made a request. Let me take you back to your dorm, or are you afraid of heights? The car definitely answered me no. Right away. I hold you in my arms like a princess. You can't carry your hand. She puts a foot to get momentum. Like that, it's like a lightning bolt in the air. While still holding you in my arms. Thank you for feeling the energy. They are moving, and thinking, the mold, that I just take can draw a lot of power. That's what happened while she was holding him and launching him in the middle of the air with incredible speed. Sun only knows how to give up helplessly thinking, in many ways. The current situation has changed a lot compared to before I went back in time. Erika is patiently standing on the campus. Lee Hyun hasn't shown up yet. I need to give him this invitation. On the free forum of the Academy's Metallurgy Department, an anonymous person took a picture of Erika. Put the problem. Why did that girl show up here? Aren't you the first valedictorian in the combat department? A series of highly critical comments. There's a man speaking. She stood motionless in front of the main building, Department of Metallurgy. It's been 3 hours. Shivering. So a bunch of people showed up to answer that comment. Is she waiting for the valedictorian? Ship or not? The last time I saw her, she was waiting for him. The dormitory is simply that. If so, just call him and tell him to come down. This idiot. I'm just guessing, you're not allowed. God damn it. My car has seen this too. I can't help but wonder what this is all about. The car is self-contained. If there's something really important, they will surely find me again. At this time, the class door opened. A middle-aged person comes in to introduce. Nice to meet you. From today, I'll be in charge of teaching the tool understanding class. My name is Ricardo Miles. He banged his hand on the door, attract the attention of everyone who orders. First, let's all move to the training center. Whoever comes last will be punished. Run 20 laps around the stadium. It started right after Ricardo's finish. The students also hurried to get up and run. Why did you suddenly start running like this? The car is also tense in the crowd. Isn't this supposed to be a theory lesson? They didn't stop dancing. I don't know. Just run away. We finally arrived. The car was fined by Ricardos. You have to run 20 rounds. You just run and respond. Yes, I'm running. People around you can't stop talking. The power of this guy, it's so bad that it can't be lower. I don't know if he really did well. Intermediate fording no more. Ricardos came out, and called after a while. Everybody pay attention. He was serious about explaining. Originally, understanding a tool designed to teach theory of the structure of equipment. However, because of the recent hunting spree, we've got to change our training. There are attacks on workers. Forging is capable of fabrication. Fire sword hero level up. These guys are called swordsmen. I was driving and listening in the car thinking, even before I turn back time, it's still an unsolved case. He's still going on. Even if you have a defense system in place, how strong is it? Then finally, the only thing that can protect you is your body. And Ricardos raised his voice. That's all. But with studying tools in this class, you will also be imparted skills to protect ourselves. The students responded in unison. Yes, Mr. Ricardos is pleased to speak. Today we're going to talk about swords. The car is still telling itself. This time I'd also need to be a little more careful. Your footsteps don't stop lifting. To do that, top priority, it's about improving your own fitness. Our hand Hun softly squeezed silently evaluates. even though it's made by yourself. But its use. It's extremely effective, of course. Information display system. This is a bracelet made out of inkstone. It's able to absorb the wearer's magic to increase the corresponding weight. It's going to store it and draw on its owner's magic. Allows to activate the explosive circle skill. Explosive circle skills helps control gravity in the range 1 meter around user interface. Look at the system indicator table. You set a goal for yourself. They're basic indicators. That's an average of about 5 points. Before the first year is over, I have to make this body be strong at all costs. Forever a while later, Rose just turned to the car. Stop running. Come here. He looked down at his hand again. The ring exploded. He evaluates cars in secret. You're in better shape than I thought. Then Rose raised his sword to him. Let's see if you have the skills to learn swordsmanship. Let's try swinging this sword. The car picked it up and watched for a while. It may be a little difficult to move flexibly, because of the effect of the Spire ink bracelet. There's a little hesitation in my heart. It's not really a well-known technique. But should I try that trick? The car finally decided to throw down its sword. The students outside laughed. Too slow. He must be exhausted. After finishing the run. Even so, and his posture doesn't look that bad. The Rikuras have a completely different view. No, it's really excellent. Your sword seems to have form. The path it needs to lead. He rotated the reviewer. But the pace is still too fast. You'd better fix this point. Before continuing, Sun's eyes became sharp in a moment. Rikuro's whole body trembled. Space. It seemed to be white in his eyes. Rikuro's eyes held back. He looked puzzled but the sword close to his neck. Rikuro's wondered in his heart. Maybe I just got scared. Before a technical student, how could you give birth to such a horrible delusion? Then he hesitated to inquire, who taught you that sword? Hans smiled softly, but in his heart, you're completely confused. Why does that trick work? He used to say it's just an invented technique. Just improvise in 10 minutes. The car remembers old memories. The light scratched his ear. I told you I'll pay you back next time. Sometimes people's lives are in short supply. Why do you have to be so crazy? He wouldn't stop begging. Can you use technology instead of money? It's a technique. I'll teach you. So let's stop and help get back to reality. Farhan confused scratching headline. I only watch the videos often. It's about the battles of other heroes. Rikuros did not believe but still smiled to ask. Swordsmanship, do you really want to be properly trained? He suggested. I'll prepare a letter of recommendation for you to take a body control class. Agakov. That afternoon at the Ayangaku Center, Sun stood in the middle of the crowd. Light Su is stomping his feet full of anger. How many times have I said, I have nothing more to teach you? Jack didn't listen. Please don't treat me like that. He's a class hero. He's retired and a regular customer. He is known as the false sword. The car is a little unbelievable. The guy who's drunk and gambling all the time. This is a professor. When I saw your appearance, the Lord asked who you are. Farhan put out the letter. I'm Malik Hun, first-year student in metallurgy. I'm here on the recommendation of Professor Rikuros. He was a little surprised and asked, Rikuros was the one who nominated you. Jack also found the cow to explain. That boy is the valedictorian of science. This year's courier. He frankly assesses. Whatever it looks like, he also seems very ordinary. This and that is the question. Are you so eager to learn from me? He said excitedly, yes, that's right. So he pointed to the car and asked. So if you beat that kid, I'll accept you. He arranged a match for both of them. It only takes one round. Who can touch the appropriate blow? The enemy first will win. Optical Sue put his hand on the household sign. Then the match begins. His voice just ended. Jack quickly jumped up. The car itself stood still, squeezing the sword. There is little doubt in the heart of the light. Do you have to relax? It's a way to maximize flexibility by suppressing all of your muscle strength. If that's true, the most basic way of coping is to wrestle, instead of a direct hit. Meanwhile, Jack threw his hand out. Fotosu sorrow sigh. That's why. Why do I hate show-offs so much? Just worry about calculating the mind, that haven't really engaged in a kind way. He complains it's not interesting. What a loss of interest. And then Jack came and hugged the car. He gritted his teeth in surprise. What the hell is this power? The car said to itself. But you activate the explosive ring. The power from it flashed a bright light. The car has successfully turned the tide. I got a little bit of pain and screeched a little bit. The car's fists are right in front of you. Blood drips down from his nose. You see that with a small smile. Looks like I'm going a little faster, right? The space quickly became quiet. After a while Jack spoke. The last attack was actually. I didn't let him finish. Light Su has ordered everyone. Disband them all. I promised I would teach. If you win. The car heard that and sat up. Because he lost to me. So shouldn't you teach me? You're playing tricks. I can't believe it. Valedictorian Vega, who failed at the hands of a shipper. Just hearing it, it's pathetic. Jack was beaten so badly that he was pathetically stupid. You see, the wind also proposed. That's right. Maybe we should reshape this idiot a little bit, so that he can take care of himself. He turned excitedly to exclaim. Then he sent a message. We'll arrange a time and send it to you. Remember to be on time. This made Jack very happy. He bent over and expressed. I sincerely thank you. Light Su troublesome sight and waved his hands. If you're done, you can leave. He turned to look at the car and said, I have something to discuss with this boy. After only 2 people left in the room. Recommended optical speed. Show me the sword technique again. That you used to deal with Rikurosi. He responded quickly. I understand. The car looked at him nervously. Then he soared with a sharp sword in his hand. But in a split second, the car's sword was blown away by the light. I stood there listening to him. This is a strategy to defeat the opponent, at first glance. Optical rubber cold confirmed. The idea is pretty good, but the implementation is still very crude. You think a sword technique reveals a weakness, it's normal right from the second use. He scolded angrily. If anyone dares to teach this to others, and praise it well, I will definitely break his arm and leg. But optical, I didn't know that he was the one who taught it. He sighed and asked me to wait and see. We're going to build a complete body. On the skeleton thoroughly. This loose art of yours. The car asked back. That means you're officially enrolled in the class, right? Optical Sue extremely question confirmed. Of course it is. I can say goodbye to you too. So when asking permission to leave today, after the car left, Optical Sue glanced at you. I feel like this boy is so stiff. After going out, the car sighed uncomfortably. Just act like you're noble, even if it's just after sales mode. Jack came up to say hello. Hey there. I'm surprised you haven't left yet. Jack took out a letter. I have something to give you. The car screeched. What is this? So he explained. An invitation to join Oblisi. Basically, that's where the students from all over the world come from. Prestigious clan. Sun also realized in his heart. Should be. Erica had intended to give this to me before. Jack excitedly voiced. There's a lot of snubs out there. But I think it's a good opportunity for you. But the car was a little hesitant. I'm not sure if they should be arbitrary, whether to accept something like this or not. He laughed so loud. Thanks to you, I got into that class. So at least I have to express my gratitude like this. The car also smiled and said thank you. A while later on the way, you silently evaluate. The only thing I have signed up for so far is the construction, borders and body control. I also want to try my hand at the science side. The courier is now. In my head I'm weighing the curse. Alchemy and fortification. I lost focus so I bumped into someone. The car again apologized for asking. Your eyes suddenly stopped. It turns out that a girl grabbed my wrist and probed this. Did you make it with your own hands? Farhan outright confirmed. What if I did? Then she suggested. Or let me do this for you. System quickly display notification. A link to a target called Leah Claudel has been successfully established. Leah Claudel is a person who has the ability to upgrade equipment up to 2 levels through intensification. Genius among the geniuses. Who made the equipment? Harry the Legendary. He is known as the one who did it. Advised to turn the whole industry upside down. Leah screamed in amazement. Squint is at a rare level. She doesn't stop studying. If I just need to add some recipes here. No, it's too cool to just stop here. I'm tired of holding my head. How do we solve this dilemma? Witness that scene. Karham silently evaluate. I can't believe it. She's this weird person again. Then the old man asked. Is this equipment bad? Leah quickly presented the problem. The problem is that there's so much I want to do on it. It's cast from inkstone, but why is compatibility? I love being so incredibly tall. There's so many recipes that I can apply. I can't decide. The car then puts something on the table. If so, it should be fine. I saw her confused. You remind me. There is still more here. The car is more careful. It also has resonance. So pay attention to that. I am very excited to ask you, who are you after all? You introduced me as Lee Si-hun, first-year student of metallurgy, and also the valedictorian of this year's Boshipa department. She was amazed and exclaimed. The first year was amazing. I'm a third-year student in chemistry. At this time someone came, cut the story of both. I have something to say. Follow me for a moment. Si-hun quickly recognized that Erika's wrong name. Leah is uncomfortable standing up. You didn't see we were talking first. Or why did he lower his voice now? I want to resolve this peacefully. Please just give me a minute. The car chilled back. Whatever it is, just say it right here. So he sighed and asked. Apologize for your rude attitude towards the lady. Erika go. You dared to tear up the invitation. She gave it to so many people in front of her. Parhun puzzled uttered. But that lady asked me to tear it up. His eyes immediately became angry. Sure, you have your own reasons. If only you hadn't accepted the invitation from the Myers. Parhun nasty questioning. Did Erika send you here? Is he in a hurry to say no? This is entirely my personal intention. Right now, she also laughed. I can believe it. She bluntly peeled. Who else doesn't know? Are you the young master's trusted subordinate? This makes him angry. How dare a loser like you? Baby, now you're under the illusion that you're someone special. He criticized the Hunkar. But Bay, Harrods have no shortage of geniuses, far beyond your level. But I don't care to respond. What do you mean by that? You're referring to yourself. The car's words thundered across his ears. The angry man shouted, shut up. The car watched his power explode. But still reach out to me. A hand that could resist the beasts. Phantom is coming, a sudden flow of magic. I felt as if I had predicted. It's not just made out of magic. You use the sword as a medium. Time to attack, even if they're illusions. This made him stutter with fear. How can you do that? The car turned the weapon in its hand. Who knows? He laughed excitedly and exclaimed, that sounds pretty delicious. The system announced at the same time, Link Imprint is about to get GRE officially activated. He exclaimed helplessly, my 1,000,001 is gone. Par smirking expression. With this wonderful taste. Tell me why you're crazy about it. The system displays the information again. Rio Lin. Unhit iron greed ultimate high quality level. The kind of iron that's capable of generating heat by ingesting other types of iron. It corrodes the metal to the touch and absorb their core inside itself, hunting and consuming iron to make mineral blood. The remaining strain, 78% of the circle explodes. In a split second the car has gone up. I punched him in the stomach. So the man collapsed on the spot. Parhun turned to call Lyat. That's why, senior. I looked at her and asked. There's a lecture in chemistry that you feel is worth suggesting to me. Her face suddenly turned red. Then she opened her mouth. Ancient strengthening. There's also a very outstanding predecessor there. Her name is Leah Cloudel. After leaving, the man in pain hugging his belly. It's a damn thing that he keeps moaning. I can't believe it. A new student has such an amazing speed of reflex. At that moment Erika also appeared from the front. Sorry, I would like to borrow that sword to take a look. He startled me screaming, Lady Erika. You've been here ever since. The subordinate also respectfully gave it back to her. It's here, lady. Erika looked at the sword in her hand. You don't have to report this. For my brother, I don't know. As for the owner, we will talk privately later. He scratched his head and said, yes, I see. Erika silently rated. It's a device that's used as an object. Well, it was engraved with the burglar on top. She's a little confused. Maybe he invented a skill on his own. Counterattack based on his magic, and Professor Robert. Erika is starting to feel confused. Lee Si-hun is gifted with his forging technique. It may even go beyond class. I definitely have to adjust. Assessment of compatibility level. His magic was promoted to a rank. The system suddenly appeared. A connection to an object called Erika. He now has been established. This makes the car uneasy. What's going on? I started to speculate. Was she secretly watching? When I fought that subordinate. The car held swords in its hands helplessly. Anyway, at least I got the compensation I deserved. There are still 10 swords missing. It's a bit rough to leave it like this. But if you combine it with the black thread, spirit is definitely good. I'm just yawning and sighing. Put that aside. I was looking forward to Professor Kim's class. Incheon was unexpected. all day today. I just have to listen to theories. It's boring that I memorize. Soon after, Incheon also spoke seriously. That explanation is enough. Now let's get to the heart of it. He took the object from the lecture table. Even if they're using the same metal, identical, then its shape will also completely transform. It depends on the way you adjust the arrangement. Magic power. A stone suddenly appeared with the words of Incheon. Metal deformation engineering applicability. This is what determines versatility of a weapon. He put different stones on the table. And then the Incheon turns it back into the original iron. Affirm that's why. If you chose to follow the blacksmith's path, you have to capture it perfectly. The potential of the metal that I'm dealing with. Incheon raised a problem in today's lesson. We'll practice the technique deformation on these iron bars. He asked someone to deliver the stones, then make a request. First, let's use the flow of magic to create a scratch. It's about 3 centimeters meters right at the center of the iron bar. This item has been fine-tuned to react extremely sensitively to distortion. So you need to operate very carefully. In the heart of the car quietly commented. It seems like finally, he's not completely either. Deny the methods forged by magic. Incheon announced it. The time limit for you is 10 minutes. It can all start working now. The students were very confused with the iron bars. In my hands, why did this happen to me? They don't stop complaining. It doesn't go back to its original form. Then at this moment 2 people came forward. The car is soft. I'm done. He looked at me and reported that I was done. Incheon's satisfied praise. You can move on to the training phase. And then he started bringing up other problems. We'll do a different sort of schema. Please try to apply it. He looked at the car confidently. His speed and level of perfection with him is, this time I will definitely win. Incheon has not stopped. Explain. What follows will be the sword according to this diagram. He did it hastily with great confidence. My time has come. Unhappily thought. I will finish it perfectly. Let all be amazed. But after he finished it, Incheon again asks Han Bus-sok. Try giving the iron. Let's go back to its original state. I immediately ask back, sir. What do you say? It's time to try. He's confused. Why did this turn out like this? Han is powerless to realize the arrangement of the magical currents. It's been completely destroyed. Seeing that, Incheon spoke up. That iron can't stand the deformation. That I just did. In other words, that proves that your method of dealing with wrong from the first step. He was confused to ask again. But you did the right thing. Just like the professor instructed. He lowered his head and explained. What we've emphasized before is that you have to understand it completely, the inherent potential of the metal. Incheon constantly criticizing. If unable to restore the affected magic power structure, it's no longer a strain. It's a serious degradation of equipment. It's going to be a big variable, affect quality as well as performance. I'll have to study this part later. When I heard that, Hum also lowered his head. I will remember your teaching. He looked at the car wondering whether the guy does that really get to the point. In the end, he decided not to. Maybe he just got lucky while he was distracted. However, soon the car was successful again. It actually has this effect. You can't get the iron back to the original. This made all the students confused. What? Didn't he just say it wasn't possible? Why can't that be? Even Incheon is confused. Student Lee Hun. Could you please redo the technique? Deform just now, show me one more time. Farhan helplessly thinking. I accidentally misunderstood him. I was embarrassed to present. It's possible, just because this is specially modified iron, special for students only. If it's a normal standard iron bar, it will certainly never be possible. Look at everything that's going on. Incheon knows what's new. What can be done is, thanks to the sensitivity of the iron bar, I've gone through this fine-tuning. He mused about it. I can't believe it. Even myself, I'd also missed that important detail. A conqueror of the heights, he's also the greatest blacksmith. Holy fire lichens. He's been inventing it all these years. He is also a class hero, and decades have passed since then. No one can deny it yet. Deformed formula, which is considered to be the core of every blacksmith in the world, the truth of steel. Come to Incheon a little hesitant. I'm sure he can't find another way. Right? Should I believe that it's possible? Not for this guy. Farhan turn around aesthetic. If this time he realizes it again, it will be the second time in a row. It's getting dark outside. Incheon class ends here. You can leave, Lee Sun. Can you stay and see me for a while? I stopped to ask the teacher what happened. Incheon took out an opening item. This is a welcome gift for you. You helped me a lot in moving in. The 3-ball system also displays information. High quality rare flaming blood. The ore that contains the essence of red flame. It has a special power, specialized in smelting various types of ore, mixture into liquid form. The car is a little slow. And he answered, if you can absorb the essence of the jewel, this fire you will strengthen forever. It's my crimson fire. I've been preparing it. I heard you have the ability to control fire. I'm glad to hear that too. I would like to thank you. This gift will definitely be a help. It's a huge help for me. Incheon suddenly asked for one more thing. I would like to ask if you intend to apply for a second course, taught by myself, or not. He calmly replied. Are you talking about basic research? About the equipment? This makes Incheon a bit of a surprise. You know about that subject, too. The car is confirmed. Yes, in my heart I judge. It's one of 3 classes. Bill invests with the largest budget. The car is a little confused. What should I do right now? Before turning back time. I've never heard of Kim In-cheon. Appeared ever, so maybe it's the end for the professor. This didn't go very well. However, currently, he's a professor again. Get a lot of attention. Then Sihan happily opened his mouth. I decided to take that course. Incheon asked if you are okay. I see you've signed up for a lot of extra courses. But you also calmly present. If you add the subject, it's only the 4th one. Incheon is not convenient to say anything. Shake hands. Han exclaimed. Then we're looking forward to it. I can work with you in the future. I politely replied to you as well. At the same time, the system is notifying. Is working on extracting the link from the object. Kim Min-cheon bonds with the creator. Lee Se-han is currently in level 1. High grade Incheon iron flame bearing needle link. Medium low quality. A metal that contains fire inside. It has properties that are very similar to wood. It's able to keep the fire inside. Parm used thinking alone. If a person is able to extracting metal from other people's bodies, and that means they can, too, to shape and temper the human body itself. When there's all kinds of magic properties that coexist in a body, they'll cause conflict with each other. Because this is extremely dangerous for a blacksmith, it always requires absolute precision. Use only one type. Properties best suited to power. Complaints have become an unwritten rule. However, I myself am a complete case. Difference in the amount of internal magic used to prevent the temperature from drying up. In an appropriate way, the body when empty, magic power will begin to attract the essence of the crimson flame to the inside. What I need to do as a blacksmith is to set up a phantom circuit, specialized force dedicated to the crimson flame, right in my own body. After a while the car breathed a sigh of relief. I'd understand that. And that's it. I can do the job, training right in yourself. Notification system. Your magical properties have been increased in power, from blood fire to blood fire level D, plus a series of announcements. You've learned this rank called Magic Forging Spirit Casting. The body is a material, the most primitive that a worker forged can be polished. As the inner magic circuits are forged, your physical abilities will increase. The power is also enhanced. All of the fundamental indicators have gone up, thanks to the impact of glass skills. Parhun strength to 100, Lin 5 durability. 100 magic D 119. Speed E Disahan. American car grinds its teeth. Magic forging star body casting. I remember how I struggled in my previous lie. When Lee had a question, you have the ingredients in hand. And I am going to give up, without even thinking about how to deal with them. She laughed and asked if you were an idiot. Are you going to orange? Will you accept that? Back to reality. I'm happy to smile and make up my mind. I have to take advantage. Everything that can be used is thoroughly. And whether the opponent is an ally or an enemy, go again this time. I will definitely not let myself regret it, about anything. In a large stone building that speaks. Today we will complete it. All the things that you've made. Working in past lessons. Because these finished products are expected, it will be available both inside and outside the academy. The guy with the red hair standing on his waist in front of everyone. It can be confirmed that the result today will determine the entire course of this first semester. So let's all do our best. Not to regret it later. Are you clear? Everybody shouted out loud. Parhun observation inspector on hand thinking. Things are really messing up. Because the body is currently not keeping up with the reflexes, so there's a lot of detail that's gone wrong. In one hand he holds a hammer with a thought. This is not the right time, so we can relax again. The flames are burning. The waves of fire crashed right into this place. A pot of boiling water smoking. The car with a long stick in its hand quietly watched. This result should be fine. But you seem to be getting nervous thinking. With the rest of the time, Completing other things will be very difficult. If we just do things at an average level, they may get more funding. You put it on the grindstone. But in the end, it takes dedication to create at least one object, really quality. That's the right thing to do. Your hands are spinning this iron. I stood there full of concentration. That sound boomed in the car's head. It sounds like the end of the world is coming. Your eyes are down there. Whenever you hear this particular sound, I've been able to make wonderful things. All the focus is on that with the thought. This is not just temporary sharpness. It's a deeply engraved sword, into its own image. The lights below are called white light information. It's more obvious. White light long sword weapon. It's finally been completed. A great blacksmith always reveals his will through the most basic things. The technique of an artist. They know how to maximize the potential of the material to create a new blade. It really deserves the best. A notification pops up. You've learned a skill called fluorescence. 2 glossy swords appeared with its information. High quality rare grade white light sword. This is the long sword. Owns pure sucking white blade. The blade is finely on. Combined with the arrangement, the magic helps it stay strong. It's just incredibly sharp. A masterpiece. The work was created by a highly skilled blacksmith. The power of slashing will be given when the magic power is transferred. The gun truck has just been made to breathe. If you consider that you're only using regular iron, this result is also acceptable. I have hope when I look at this weapon. Skills from before going backwards. His time is gradually restored, even if it's just a little bit. 2 techniques. The soldier behind him held the sword anxiously. I really hate this feeling. Or should I consider dropping out? Saturday morning of the next day, when the redhead is sitting at the coffee shop, watch the phone. A voice comes up. Really dumb. You want to see my strengthening technique? The car is looking around on the way. Well, I'm actually curious about your basic skills. There seems to be a lot of people here. He is also watching. Don't worry. My workplace is located in a quiet area, much quieter. The 2 of them were on their way to a neighborhood, the peaceful farm, and asked in turn, isn't this a little too far? You thought it could be easy. See for yourself my technique. So why did she drag you into the Agakuf hardware store? This is the place. She walked in and called out to Grandma. Her voice echoed, I am here. Helena sat there with her little finger and winced her face. I'm not deaf to shout like that. The car behind her seemed angry when she had questions. Who's the boy with you? Leah stood in front of him. There's no such thing. I started to smile as she spoke. He's the valedictorian of the shipper department, just enrolled this year. She replied. 3 parrots must also come to the end. That's why I took someone who looked wee. Helena stood up from the table. My name is Helena Sihan. You are Sihan Glass, first year student of metallurgy. She seems to be pissed off. Let's stop chatting. Get to work quickly. The amount of work has been piled up this week. That's a lot because the new students are full. Look elsewhere and sigh. Ethanol. She pointed to the back room. The entrance to the forge is this way, looking at the items in the kissing room. Think of that grandmother. Her skills seem to be deeper than I thought. You walk behind carefully observing each thought. It's incomprehensible. Why would someone like her run a store? Made ill in this place. She's ahead, holding every piece of questioning. It's been a lot of work. A colorful tray placed on the table. This is the enhanced palette. And these are powders that are ground from magic stones. I stood there with my arms folded and glanced at my ears. The standard is 8 colors. But she uses them in a very diverse way. Then you speak up. Is it your job to restore the recipe? Strengthening. Was it damaged by this? Helena held up a paintbrush with precision. She's holding a pan in one hand, in the other hand, with the brush dotted on the palette. That's how I was able to make money. Has just been unleashed to enhance, without worrying about the cost of raw materials. The lines that paint the collars. From the bottom of the pan, usually through her hands, she's become more impressive. The car stood there quietly watching. I came here because she seems to be experiencing a kind of stagnation at work. I remember someone in front of me telling me. Someone who has run out of time, always bring failures to every exam, and I can't even keep my valedictorian chair. Pictures Helena attentively with palm tree and pan. It makes you think. Of course, when you see it with your own eyes. I think I found the source, the cause, and how to deal with her stagnation. And with my thoughts I turned my head. Capable of immerse yourself in the work as if it were a talent. With his hands in his pockets in front of a wooden table. An item on the table hits the car. This will resonate with the arrangement, the power to create a special effect. He lowered his head and looked closer. Anyway, after a long time, new etched on silver. I'm also scratching my feet. Helena in the back sees it. Try it. She wrinkled you behind. Of course, if you're capable enough to do that, then pick anyone from that pile over there. I suddenly looked back thinking, it feels like she's telling me that on purpose. I turned my head to look. If I'm allowed to use a special grindstone with that quality, I definitely have to try once. Then your eyes are fixed on it. His hand gripped its handle. She's standing there with her arms crossed, watching. Are you really going to do it with that thing? The car excitedly touched the blade of the knife. That's right, low into the way the blade wears evenly, and the shaft, it's not twisted. You can see that this is a real person's knife. Understand how to use the sword. He stood at the table holding the grindstone with thoughts. For this stone, it's the one with the phantom particles. Force is compressed most evenly. If you use this, it will be enough to handle, even when grinding the blade to the limit. Sharp. Finally your hands are soft. Technically, put the knife on the grindstone. Elena is behind the big question in her head. Kid name. That's actually a freshman who just enrolled this year. Leah stood behind excitedly yelling and startled her. It's done. She was startled to realize. When did you come here? She didn't look back. I don't know, this girl. She came over and stood next to her and looked at her. She was deliberately looking for the fault of her parents, but in the end, he taught her a lesson. Is that right? Helena banged her out the back. Be angry, shut up for me. She looked at the car hesitating. Have you done all the work? He replied with a smile. Right now this is the best I can do. Next time I will do better. Helena swung down her sword. Then both of you leave early. Leah took his arm and walked out and glanced at it. She's just being grumpy for no reason. Let's go. Inside there, she's standing on her waist where you just did. Suddenly a man in a polite suit, slapping hard on the door. Sister, are you forging? Helena looked out and grimaced and kept quiet. He rubbed his head shallowly. There is a lot of backlog of orders now. What about the kitchen knife? His somewhat unnerving words came out. When will you give up that job at the restaurant? Someone who should be a teacher, the master of combat. She replied in an exasperated voice. Don't be fussy about other people's own interests. He came in with a knife on the table. It's here. Suddenly he felt something unusual. He winced and looked back. Sister, are you drinking and sharpening this bar? She stood there with her arms folded and her head bowed. We didn't do that. He continued. So is this the work of the assistants? Have you been close lately? Their skills must have improved tremendously. Helena Bao Blinds is a freshman. He turned around and couldn't believe his eyes. Her eyes just opened. A new class boy just entered this year. It's the one who sharpened it. Remember the car and the words. Who is that guy anyway? The car came out and asked. That old woman at the hardware store was. He's a former professor of metallurgy. She walked next to me. That's right. I've heard that she retired 5 years ago and came back. Agikov opens this store. I looked down at her. Is there something hidden behind that? She glanced at me. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing too special. The image of the academy that emerged from her account. In the last 5 years, a lot of professors have left the metallurgy department. You look at the answer. In the car, I can't stop thinking. If considering that this is going to be the Wees department, 3 parrots in the future. So this is clearly a story that I can't ignore. Leah next door put her hands in front of her chest, but most importantly, you see how my amplification technique works. I looked down at her. The basics are definitely nothing to cover. It's pretty good. Her face became so proud of my. That's no big deal. Suddenly I was a little excited. However, your thinking is still too narrow. The sky seemed to get darker as she jumped out. Stand in front of you. What did you just say? Farhan pointed straight at her. You've already come up with better options. But I dare not apply them. She stammered back. How do you even realize that? It's like falling into depression. Bow your head to the comments. If you don't know, you can learn. But if you know and still can't do it, that's the big deal. The worker's imagination, its weapons and genius, and yet you're holding it back. Everything's broken in her heart. It's like I am. You think I do these things just because I don't understand it. The car winked a sigh. Looking for something in your shirt. Then he pulled out a sword that surprised her. I'm having other plans so I can't perform for long. Let's focus on looking closely. So he brought out an underwater rock as an example. Let's say someone asks. She put a stone underneath the water. It's about making a stone and dropping it. It's the blacksmith's job. The image is fading. And the depiction of the sinking stone. It's on the water. It's the art of strengthening. That's why the power. You always have the nature of dreams. A sword appeared with red lights flying around. The sword fluttered in front of her in surprise. There are also forces surrounding the white light sword. It's full of power. Don't just affect the outer shell, but give strength. It's deep inside the core of the weapon. He watched the knife in his hand with the power fly around if a layer is not strong enough, or break them up into different layers. The car slammed it down. When you do it this way, you stand there and you throw it behind you, was standing straight to the ground. It crashed straight into the ground. It's like everything is stopping for that power line. I looked down seriously. Although I can't confirm, this is a standard amplification technique. If it is Leah, look at you holding your hand in front of your chin, makes me think more. Geniuses like her will often find their own way, even when in a state of hesitation. Suddenly I panicked, and pointed my hand back. Please lend me that for a moment. Please lend it to me. She's standing there pulling the cart like a swing. I promise I'll make it perfect, and return it. Please, please, you come sweating on the back of your head and you've got to get that thing out. I don't mind. But if you took it, take this as well. She jumped up with joy. It's like getting love. Thank you very much. I love you dead, and you lost leaving you. Butter alone there. The car breathed when it was notified. Is working on establishing a link from the Leia object. Cloud pass level link with creator cup. Uncar now reaches level 1. He speak to. That girl's still a real kid. Standing on a crowded campus, the car looked around thinking. Finally, today I have the opportunity to meet one of the three. That three dog. Every battle hero letter between rabid dogs and ghosts stilling light in adolescence. I remember when Eureka came back and made me think. But what's more important is. Then I asked her what she was doing. She whispered in a scary way. I am following you. He replied indifferently. So now if I tell you to go somewhere else, are you going? She's coming up. I'm going. I can stand from a distance. To observe you. The car glanced back and breathed. I'm sure you will, too. Then come on in. Let's go inside. An item like frozen snow with an introductory line. Alignment has social covenant of Eureka. In out rare hierarchies. Low quality is medium. Artificial or that contains fine-tuned magic power. Has a conditioning effect. The chaos of magic power inside while mixing to other minerals. Another magic stone also appeared with the announcement. Leah's complex spoon block linked. Cloudal hierarchy is rare. Quality is superior. A sharp stone or with mixed colors. It's a wonderful defect. Help to maximize exploitation, the potential of mixed materials. At the large stadium campus, space appears lovely on the projection screen. Heat. Welcome to the new students of Babio Academy. Came to the sightseeing site containing the name of the dojo. I'd like to say hello. Best wishes to all of you in the game. Rate this. She poses wink on the screen. I'm the youngest professor in the martial arts department, who will take on the role of commentator today. My name is Gypsy. In the falling light, her voice still rings out. Then it's wise to keep you waiting. Let's introduce the fighters. Just for today, the tall figure of a woman appeared under the light. Let's look at this side first. 4th year valedictorian of Agakrof region. He is also the future successor of the family. Buyers were specialized in trainings class heroes. This man threw his golden hair with his hand, her in the back. A perfect Superman, who constantly broke records, and hold the #1 spot in the ring. For the past 3 years, she's now a class hero, but is working and is our champion. This girl's pretty face is revealed. It is also a holy sword. The last man, he managed to climb to the top of the tower. Hero Ariam there. The loud sounds come out. Above is the car. Hun and Erika are looking down. Sister, take me with you, Aria, it's so bright. With the guidance of space, the first player to stand out, challenge the champion. In today's day, the light fell on a man. With a long sword at his back. The intangible cultural heritage of Korea, the heir to the technique of incineration. 3rd year valedictorian of the Department of Commerce and is a candidate. Bright tablets for class position 10 of the dojo. The car looked down thinking. We finally encountered each other. This person stood there showing strength. The rabid dog also shouted out this man's name. In Seamhet every sword flashed out. The fire stopped when it almost hit the ground. Aria on the other side also skillfully controlled the sword. She threw a punch that made him jump out the back. He bit his teeth hard. His hand gripped the stick next to him. Aria's eyes glowed with fear. Then the flames go in circles, roll around her. It's like directly attacking your car. This makes the car in front of me think. Even when you take into account your young age. He's not up to the standard yet. Maybe he didn't get the support worthy of the title of the transmitter of the Wheel of Fire, Fire Lance Star. The car he held back into thinking. There are a lot of things that make me feel overwhelmed, but the biggest obstacle is the equipment that he's using. But he threw it away and was about to rush in. A long, sharp sword just slid into his neck. Farha. He looked confused at the sword in front of his neck. And then he went down. I've lost already area to earn in front of fun. You've worked so hard. The match is officially over. The final winner was Area Myers. Both of them are in the same room. The microphone on the other side continues its work. We will then conduct the interview. For both fighters. As expected is so. But students. Ian Seongka had to leave early for an unexpected reason. She put her hand over her mouth and laughed. I have to deal directly with the nine. It was too much right after that. For me too. Farhan, quietly leave as all the lights are pouring into the area. Or I'll fill the time. This drum with a live session. With me. The audience up there very enthusiastically agrees. The car up there winked at me. That guy looks really upset. Suddenly you stand up and make a Reika turn. Are you going to quit without watching the whole game? I put my hand in my pocket. I am not much. I'm very familiar with that fighting style. I just walked away and said look at her. You're feeling hot standing there. Erika turned somewhat worried. I thought it was a relief to know you weren't there. To see my brother. But why is he so angry? Suddenly a voice spoke next to her. An interesting new student. Aria's been standing there looking back ever since. The orange eyes look back full of hope. Maybe we found someone like that. Mr. Has car is sitting in meditation in the park. It's located near the martial arts arena. The car came quietly with thought. The car is still alive and quite healthy. The car was thinking back when he crashed out every way flashy power, even if the temperament is a bit dog-like. He's still a core element of the death squad. And also the last, he sacrificed his life to destroy it. The ghost of change, the man behind him thought. Because he hasn't become too corrupt yet. Maybe this time I'll get paid. Stone Link more smoothly. And he's wincing his head down. You were watching the last training match, weren't you? Par handbag landing. Yes, I took a look. His head is looking back. He can find me at the bottom. It proves that real power is not mediocre. He turned to look sinister. Is it you again? Why the valedictorian of both? The courier appeared here. He stood there worrying. Why does he have such a harsh attitude? Then you say. I came here with hope. The two of us can discuss. For a moment. He went back to the beginning. Get out of my sight. The car came slowly. This is really going to be good for you. It's just that he's sweating down. Maybe you still don't understand, so I'll just repeat this one time. I really hate the we. A stand in front of your car, especially the kids. You can't do anything for yourself. And the good guys, mistake. I thought their little tricks could be the same. Goods with me. So, whatever you want to talk about, go back. A word that makes you sound like a dead man. Force the inferior to remember what was once. I used to do. Let's go back to our workshop and make the equipment. Be self-sufficient and stay still, in the right place. It doesn't make you think too much about it. Compared to the era of the so-called mad dog, now he looks quite polite. The car was doing magic in his hands. Same thought. Look at that attitude. I know I can't use words to solve it. The public also looked behind. He seemed determined not to stop. He came up to where he was doing his magic and spoke up. I'd also want to send you a message. The next thing that made him faint. The history of fire. It will be stopped by your own hands. That's why his car rushed to his hand. Hold tight, and unleash the power. And his punch came out. The car was stopped by your power. A notification appears at the same time. He's just been kicked away. Link imprint. Greed police have officially been activated. He wrinkled his bewildered eyebrows. He just neutralized a punch. Enhanced by your magic power. The flames roll around the car. When he's thinking about you. There is no tighter name when elected as the head of the department. Maybe in the end he is also qualified to stand. Talk to me. His attitude became more aggressive. But the trajectory of the magic flow, the fire is still burning. This is the true power of fire. Fire damage. It's going to end right here. The two of them flew towards each other. Farhan, it's like creating a swarm just to throw fire at the car. He filled me with smoke. Then you're slowly coming out of the smoke. And in the distance he's somewhat surprised. Why the flames? It only reacts to its own power. It could be in his hands again. Don't say scary things like that. He dissected it and stole it. Suddenly a fire flew right through his neck. I look forward thinking this son of a bitch. Farhan. with his purple powers are standing in the marshal, do you not? Out of thought. He seems to be going crazy and out of control. Here's a picture of a man with pink hair. Take up arms on your shoulders in front of the gate. The Great Wall of China may have exploded. It's also because of this temperament. A punch from the guy about to be unleashed. It's coming in exactly the right way. The injured person thinks the magnetic effect of greed is about to disappear. And my endurance is up. As the fists prepare to reach the front of the car, the time to stay close to greed is running out. My body can't even try harder. They fall like they're losing gravity from above. At the same time, you just grab the car's punch. Surprise him. But no, that's Jack trying to grab this punch. It startled him. Jack Myers, he said. You know the valedictorian of the faculty. This courier is not. He stammered back. Yeah, we kind of know each other. And then he jerked his hand back. He went away more quietly. Get out of here right now, Jack shouted loudly, sir. Then he came back and told me, let's go to the car. I'm glancing at him. He's scared of purple. Remember what he said. Don't say those weird words anymore. Hurry up and get out of here. Across the car he was standing there alone with his thoughts. I just couldn't hold back my emotions. Out a punch. Just a little longer, I did. Dirty the honor of fire. He destroyed the fire and caused trouble for the master. Then his eyes looked down. Jack is ahead of you. What the hell were you thinking? You dare to mess with the old man? If I don't stop in time, maybe you've really lost your lie. The car bowed its head and breathed on me. It's not that easy. He's worried about what you say. An announcement came out in front of you, a binding to the end target. A car has been successfully set up. You said it before. I'm just making a threat to him. But the thoughts in my head also appear. The next step is extracting the bonding stone. Think of Xianha's violent fighting image. However, the person I used to know was exactly crazy dog in Xianha. If he's still this soft right now, the effect of the stones may be changed. I need to figure out how to increase the level of connection with Xiande Yan. I looked at Jack and thought, even so, this guy looks like he's going to get the job done. I also asked Han, is there any injury to your hand? He radiantly pointed to the wound in his palm. It's okay, my hands are strong. The car next door glanced at me thinking his hands were strong. It's ridiculous. He turned to. But more importantly, shows his hand. What did you say about my sister at the front of the school? You're somewhat surprised. You mean Maria Mayers, he said. Yes, he answered. It's no big deal. It's just that I think she's a little bit arrogant. What is the extreme fear of slippers? Whatever it is that she keeps doing, ask me all sorts of things about you. The car is sitting there thinking about Arya. I'm sure she's starting to keep an eye on you. Car cold face. I remember the shape of the woman being told to. My sister seems to be paying attention to you. The sister mentioned as Arya is smiling. You're helpless to complain. In the middle of a noisy crowd, that way she can still hear it. Her ears are real. Jack tried to advise. Next time, please say yes. My sister is a level a hero. Car with his hands in his pockets talking bear. In fact, if it's just pure interest, I am very willing to receive. When he looked at Jack in dismay, and plucked his hair, there is thought. Ichian's greatest concern. Xianha is probably the defeat of Arya. If it get attention from her opponent, your influence will naturally increase. He showed a bored face and sighed a little. Don't take it for granted. You don't understand, my sister really is. Before I could finish, suddenly the car interjected in a blue sentence. He's a small and cunning man, isn't he? Jack jerking up by reflect, looking around. Maybe you shouldn't use heavy words. So much so that suddenly his face became quiet. The car stopped when I heard the question. Why do you have such a grudge against my sister? The girl with the armor, blonde hair, he holds in his hand a powerful black sword, holy sword Arya Myers. She's the king. Face to face with the monsters. This was also a soulless and faint sword. Under person dark black Arya. Lift up your wings and raise that sword to the sky. On one day, that holy sword suddenly disappeared without a trace. And the exposed, then it was the one who turned the achievement of a magic god, become your own weapon. Ghost of light. The car in the dark only smelled a faint smile. Look at her face and you're in trouble. And then you just walk away. He waved his hand over the loudspeaker. I'm going. Shaq is standing in the back. And still don't understand what's going on. What just happened? He, suddenly paying attention to the sound from his phone. On the screen, his phone got a message from Sister Arya Myers. Looks like you just made a connection, to be with a very interesting friend. Please tell me everything later. He finished reading it, and he was startled. What she meant was from now on, I have to be a bridge between the two of them. Suddenly his eyes stopped and turned pale. Maria sent a message. It's as if it's hidden there. I, small and scheming sister, just asked for help. You a little bit. Jack stood alone, reading a message on the street. God damn it. Move the scene to the next morning. At a lecture hall belonging to the three-car academy, I sat in the middle of the hour putting my hand on my shoulder because I felt a sting. Was it yesterday? I've gone a little too far in dealing with Yins. Parhano. Han is sitting at the table on his lips. The schedule for the meeting will be set soon. Rich drives a tiny car with a stick. Go to class and shout. All order. He walked in front of the class, stick in hand, and a little introduction. My name is Rich Moldova. I'll be in charge of your major classes. Within the next 2 weeks. Teaching content. My work will revolve around property refinement. The students in the room. When I saw him, his face, the nose became pale. They have the same thought. That's the famous professor who's a lunatic. Chris is very calm and serious. Before I start the lesson, I have an announcement. You must make good use of this opportunity and give me your homework next Thursday. The first is David. David, who had that name, replied. Sir, you have me. Richie Horn holding the paper, sit in a comfortable car. And the last one on the list is the glass. When I heard your name, I stood up. Fun sat in front, and looked down. People are curious, let's see how much money he gets. The person sitting next to him had a thought. I have a feeling the amount he received must have been 3 times higher, compared to my sheer loss. Rich suddenly made a big announcement. Your own budget, the car. It hasn't been officially announced yet. When I saw that, I was surprised. What did you say? He deliberately let his hair droop over his eyes. Just because you're criticized by the world is kind of. Your hair is old and ugly. Chris is very calm and hands up. My white beard. Because of the level of finish in the product that you submit up to too much contrast. Beyond expectations. So the school decided to put it up for public auction. For second-year students taking place this Wednesday. He went on to explain why. So, we will base on the final bid price. To set a budget for you. Be patient for a short time. The car is standing still. Is this the vice principal's trick? Michael is not. He deliberately intervened to handle it separately, like this. My mind is still thinking about this. But in retrospect, if there's something wrong with the order, then surely Professor Kim and Chiang, they've stopped it before. I then spoke back to him as well. You already understand the industry. Rich doesn't look scary, but put your hands up for the next lecture. It is hidden that we're going to study together today. It's about excess magic. There was an excellent student, volunteered to support me in my practice. In this def, invite me to class. That person is Xianhe. He showed up and walked into class. In Reese's introduction, introduced the whole class. This is my temporary assistant, in Xianhe. Third-year students, business administration at Egekov. A practitioner sitting next to the car suddenly spoke loudly. Why are you famous? That name suddenly appeared here. Learning in a class that everyone is excited about. It's like seeing a beautiful girl. The car stopped right next to the professor. And he went on to give a lecture. The introduction here is enough. Let's master the concepts. Before moving on to practice. The circular specimens that radiate magic are mentioned. In the manufacture of weapons. Form of excess magic power, mainly divided into 2 types. The first is the basic form of energy. The second type is independent, capable of being born on its own, magical force or absorption from the surrounding atmosphere. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages, but the independent type has a much higher difficulty. Strictly risk-preaching theory. It's because of the magic core construction method. There's no fixed standard. It will change depending on the material, technology, and the power of the creator himself. He looked at the car next to him. So you'll all start with the type. Charge force energy. First assistant invite up. His hands began to contract and rise, radiating a red magic. The red magic line. It's starting to appear in the classroom space. Fire-powered is very explosive, making it difficult to become excess magic power to use. He's created 2 red magic lines. Meet in an R. However, if you can control that nature, it's going to show amazing storage. Rich continues the solutions as simulated by Xianhe. Let's make a good example. It's the technique that my assistant is performing. Right now, that's the fire. Unwatch this performance stiffly. Surprise. Can you control the power of evolution to such an extent? The student sitting next to him was equally amazed. Even controlling a smelting furnace, it's been too much for me. Chris is on the podium holding up a device. Because we're lucky to have a great assistant like this. You must make good use of the opportunity. Please submit your homework by next Thursday. It's on a whiteboard that clearly states his requirements. Theme requires excess magic power, energy feed system with a train wheel. and he kept reminding me. You can create whatever you like, as long as you keep this theme. Chris is sitting in his little car, looks excited and turns the stick constantly. Mal, let's move quickly to the lab. Come on, don't forget to change your clothes. After he left, there was only a motorcycle taxi standing there. The other students suddenly stood up. This is the opportunity, and, with some other people holding a thought in their mind, a golden opportunity to talk to your seniors. Don't own it. He broke up in excitement, and opened his mouth. Hello, senior. He looked very polite and was going to introduce his name. Han, I'm not finished yet. Around the car, he irradiated the overcast atmosphere. Get out of here. Han also did not dare to linger any longer and sadly left. Yes, the atmosphere of the class suddenly became sad. Your car is sitting still in one place, with a cold face and closed eyes. The order suddenly opened up in one direction. When the car is not paying attention, it is moving. Prepare to leave the classroom. Then he spoke again. Car glass, Hun, did you stop to get a question? What do you know about me? A muscular man's body. Strong, radiating red spiral magic. I heard that the maturity of mercantile destruction, it's determined by the number of wheels. Li Wen-yun, current head of the Fire Flower, and a class a hero, has reached 8 wheels. The car walked more slowly towards the door, and give him an answer. Because the 3 wheels that you just made are easy. So if it's done right, you can keep 6 wheels at the same time. The car quickly chased after him and talked to him. Wait, what about that? The car suddenly cracked for an hour, make him stand still in place. You've touched the 7th wheel, haven't you? You put your hands in your pockets. But then one day, I won't be able to hold it anymore. The cart is in the back. I shiver with anger at the shadow of your back. How did he know that? I have never even reported to my teacher. Your face is getting cold. The words out the lips also become cold. You see, I'm a bit of a genius at controlling fire, but when I look at the fire that you've built, I feel something very strange. You can't detonate the residue, the remaining power completely. Or should I say that you are, let it fly away in chaos. The car came closer and asked, directly. Do you know what the reason is? His face widened, and his eyes widened as he heard. I also have some guesses, but the words continue, out of your mouth disillusioned him. But I don't see the need, I have to tell you what to do. What did your car say? He's standing in the back, squeeze your arm on your side. Let's make your request. The car doesn't hesitate to point a finger. First, you have to pay a price. They deserve all my advice and help. On his hand appeared 2 fingers raised. Second, when faced with difficult decisions, you're forced to consult me. The car just finished talking and walked away. Let me know your decision before we set foot in the lab. Your car is behind you. No more hesitation or thinking. There is an answer immediately. We agree with his voice. Serious about the condition, if you can prove it. Time to move to another place. Afternoon at the forging workshop. In this area, there are some people in uniform. It's the same, are working. But Arun is focusing on picking up objects placed in the hot furnace. He's building it, without even drawing a single sketch. Does he mean to say that? You'll need to check first. Selected stones placed in a barbecue oven. Fire system or, and seam system or, it's mixed in a 7/3 ratio. There are 2 people in front of your hard-working back. Then speak up, whisper. If you just text me. What if all the magical properties would vanish? Why is the valedictorian doing something crazy? That way your eyes are not dagger. They just focus on computation. The temperature is increased until the magical properties start leaking out. The car quickly removed the gloves it was wearing. You're going to put your bare hands directly into the fire. At the same time condition the flame of the magic power to hold that attribute part. That's heat replacement. Paris was in a cold sweat as he stood outside watching. He's been doing heat replacement right now. It turns out Professor Kim and Shion, the public auction is for this reason. The car's on its face and there's a smile on its tail. Under the eyes of ordinary people, it just seems like a normal heat replacement. But for the Yen, perhaps, it must be a completely different scene coming up. At a different time, the car is silently opening its eyes. Let's take a close look. The black shoes reach the pedal, and the tip of the toe is down. A red magic of fire mixed into a little black. There's an outburst of chemical magic that's spreading out. It's brought inside. The magic system, the haunts that are digging in are laid out on the outside. In this way, the balance between 2 opposing currents of magic, maintained to create a perfect circle. He has his arms crossed, seems to have focused on observation, but I feel lost. Is that all? In the eyes of the car, spinning like a train wheel, what is forbidden about my second magical attribute? That it interferes with the commercialization of carnage. The car still looks dazed. But his eyes were round, and he scratched his head with his hands. If we use it this way, we fall into the 5th wheel. The car heard that and was startled. His car made 5 rounds of wheels right in front of him, then explained it to me. We succeeded in perfecting the wheel of fire, but there's not enough strength to sustain 6. The car still has to be confirmed. Anyway, rolling wheel black fire, still more powerful than a conventional 7-wheel train. He looks a little upset. Close your eyes and turn around. Periodic fire flowers. Send the lecturer to test the skills of the inherited disciples are operating outside. A dark circle, haunted black giant created to the ghost. The force of fire passes through. And if somebody falls below the 6th wheel, they will be stripped of their inheritance. Parhun is very careless to offer the old solution. Then I'll just do it the same way this time. Parhi had depressed. Make a small circle in the palm of the hand. It's not okay that way. The black magic is powerfully unleashed behind the wheel of fire. The power of our shadow system now was no longer able to control. The car is also experiencing a headache. When will the teacher arrive? The answer for you is tomorrow. I put my hand up, eyes closed, eyes open to look in another direction, thinking. He used to say that, loss of successor position, that means getting expelled immediately. A method that can be applied in just one day. Suddenly he put his hand on the shoulder of his Karha. This Karhan. He seemed excited to ask a question at the time. If your legacy is preserved. If you can do something. He seriously replied briefly. I can see that your eyes are serious again. Good, the car broke into a smile. And then I took out a red black zone. In bonding. Sioha the red resonance. Top grade best quality. A kind of ore where the fire and shadow forces coexist. Wavelength generated because these two properties will resonate with the internal. First we will change the weapon for you. The car then took me to a place. It's a high classroom. This is Agakov's own training room. Only the first and the top 100 of the dojo, or top 30 of the new faculties allowed to use. The car came in and just psyched. He's the one who likes to brag. You one tap on the blue screen. You can also change the interface here, right? I'll edit it. Both of you stand still, see the interface changed in front of you. The car can only be seen. Come in, and tease your car have fire door. You miss home so much. He very calmly explained. Master sent it to me. So sometimes I just use the speaker. He took out the black stone in his hand, and looked at it, excited about doing. So we start making tools. Training. Just a gentle snap. That black stone has broken slightly in two. Ian binding keys Yamaha high-grade red resonant black stone. The best quality. A kind of ore where fire and hauntiness coexist. Wavelength generated. Because these two properties will resonate with the internal magic power. It's a long, pointed weapon that's just been built. It's done. Tianha held 2 lances in his hand and watched. A little concerned. Holding a lance was embarrassed. And we have to deal with 2 trees. The car was very calm. This one is better suited for controlling 2 types of magic power. Car properties Hun is the opposite of cold resistance, and point him in the direction. From now on, let's make a train wheel with your left hand, and unleash haunting power with your right hand. He was a little surprised when he heard it. Just release it. I'm sure. The car closed its eyes to stay calm. His eyes became sharp. 2 hands holding the lance before and after rotating 1 round. The car suddenly had to stop. When you realize up in the tree that the lance is emitting, he doesn't even understand the power of magic. The lance stared up. What was that? The car calmly pointed at it and explained it to him. I mean, you accidentally lit the magic system. It's flowing to the left. He felt the magic coming out of the tree. It's often a mix of magical properties. An escape is a natural phenomenon. But in your case, say, so dysfunctional that they hold each other back. Maybe it's because you've been forever. Suppresses the hauntiness of the system. The car put a ring on his wrist. So if you manage to get used to, with both types of magic at the same time, then reaching the 6th wheel, it's going to happen very quickly. Let's put this on during practice. The 2 cars looked at the bracelet and smiled. You have good stuff. And then he used the lance repeatedly, exercised with all kinds of positions. 3 hours of training have passed. The car was standing outside looking very smiling, satisfied with his progress. He's very adaptable. Because this is a training method, it's his own future. Feel through each cell, his body with all the magic around it. To see how good your past version is. What breathing moves the muscles. The shift in focus, the wavelength of magic that circulates throughout the body and ejected at the tip of the lance. The 2 of them noticed his curious look. What are you staring at? The car with both hands under its chin was very nay. What do you think? I am collecting data. He's taking a break, swiping his hand over his cheek. He suddenly stopped. I need it to build the weapon you're going to use. The car sits in a very natural sea. I made it this time to submit my homework, so don't hope too much. The car faces the village. Who would expect a weapon for a freshman to build? The car wouldn't sit still, look at a convenient place. His car swung 2 spears in his hand, coming down from above. There's a reason. Do you feel compelled to retain your place of succession? He didn't turn around, briefly give an answer. Master wants me to be a master. And he stood there and let go of 2 lances. The voice is cold. So as a student, I'm simply following your will. Who adopted the orphan? Yin Seonha adoption and care. He's the hero of the class. He was also the first head of the fire department. On the picture hanging on the wall, also note the image of the face. And that person's name. Hyun Jin Hyun. When he was little he sat next to his car had, rubbing his head and just telling him. Even though he lost his strength after retired from injury, but as a teacher, and as a father, he must still have absolute influence over him. This car is one-sided in hand with closed eyes. I remember in my mind when the 3 of you met. Let's get along. Link level 3 yes. The car pulls the eye to the tail end. I want to know why you helped me. Your eyebrows are drooping. Close your eyes tightly to think. It's a dark place again. Desolation from the forest to the city. Mainland area. Places that have been swallowed by the swamps. Now filled with demons. The car sits with both feet to one side of the sea. Turn to him. I'm going to go into all of that magic. To do that, I need people to protect me. And I need materials to make weapons. Give it to those people. I wouldn't hesitate to give you a hand. My dad is very ambitious. If you're the next head of the firebending, your skills and financial situation should be good. I didn't see that gesture, and he said it too. It's practical. Parhan becomes seriously frowned down. Of course we haven't known each other for a long time. Then why am I doing charity work for you? What? Parhia put the lance knocked on the back shoulder. You're saying that if I get help, do I have to pay the price I deserve? He looked up and pointed not a lance at me. Your eyes are so sharp. Please help me to be the master of the fire flower. Then I'll follow you into the continent of magic. The memory of the past suddenly becomes familiar. From the mouth of your car. Please build me a weapon. I will destroy the gods for you now. You make your car mouth creep up with a laugh. Out of his finger took out a black tablet. New crystal jelly. You don't regret it. Between the palms of my hands, that black stone is constantly generating intense magic. Now even if you don't like it, I will also take you to the throne. Red resonant blackstone link seal is activated. At the common practice hall on the 1st floor of Flavium, Hyun appears serious. With the servants. It's been a while. I haven't seen it yet. You're there gang Hyun 1, the 7 rings of fire. He noticed the 3 people behind him. Who are those people over there? Hyun reached out to introduce them. They are all disciples, selected by the player himself. My giver has to help them expand their reach. There was a training match between me and the young master. He even deliberately covered his mouth with his hand and giggled when I mention it because of the lack of. He is the most talented man after the master. Successor. His car was not happy, he reminded him. Teacher Gang Hyun. His eyes were freezing cold and fixed on him. The successor, the position of the next master has not yet been determined. Be careful with your words. It still feels natural. Willow smile on face. I'm so sorry. Maybe I was a little confused for a while. Hyun, show your arm. Get serious about important issues. So now we're going to start the aptitude test. The car did not respect anything but directly refuse. Not within half a swirl of the title. I asked to be promoted to 7 rounds. Hyun showed a look of contempt for him. A fool. They only know how to practice and dare to dream. To the chair star. He remembered your words. They will support themselves and be arrogant. If Hyun Seonho wants to challenge level 7, let's take him down. No matter what happens, we will also come to an agreement. Hyun stood in front of him and made a long speech. From the 7th row onward, the exam content will include direct contact with the teacher. Young master should also think of the great elder in Hyun. Hyun is in total. It's too early for you right now. Young master, your car is standing there, not paying attention. You talk a little too much. His car had the guts to stab his self-esteem. Or a place that's afraid of being disgraced. Teacher. When he heard that, Hyun went crazy and immediately called out to him. Bring my spear out here immediately. Promotion times. These 7 rounds will be held in the form of a tournament. He had a spear in his hand. This form of domain fighting is actually very simple. It's a pure contest of power. Whoever has the stronger fire will win. The only condition for promotion is that you win, or at least fire. He looked at the car with sharp eyes. I held 2 swords in my hand as soon as I heard a sound. Okay, let's get started. When he first got his weapons policy, Hyun confidently covered her mouth laughing, finished using the star. It's unsophisticated. The car doesn't care much. His piercing eyes swayed. 2 spears charged with fiery magic. Hyun is still standing there complaining. You've forgotten all about the mana restraints. It's my dark attribute. Such a chaotic fire. It will never be recognized as fire. The car laughed. After having made rings of fire spinning around me. Let's see what happens when we actually do it. Hyun-un seems very confident, just swinging a swivel out the back. You're going to regret this. He started getting serious about his posture. Spin out the rings of fire. Light from the fire system makes us into the bursting shadow system. No longer see anyone. His eyes suddenly opened. What? Form of a black dragon through the rings of fire, and rode through them. What the hell is going on? My fire wheel is being swallowed up or it's being torn apart, completely destroyed. The eyes full of dark circles are still stunned. And just a few seconds later, the spear in his hand was broken in 3 pieces, but kneeling on the ground before the weapon crumbled. The car had 2 spears in its hands, arrogantly at his demoralized appearance. He said it's uneconomical. The car is standing in the back. I just watched it with a little regret. What's next? It's a waste of great ingredients. The car had 2 spears in its hands, to talk to you. Once the promotion is held in the near future, I will be officially recognized as a teacher, official of Fire Flower, and the rightful successor. The car lowered its head curiously. How do you get to sit in the chair? The car next to him glanced at me. You need to meet the following 2 conditions. The first is to reach the 8-round level. And the second is getting consent from most other teachers. The car sat down near the ground, picking up the pieces from the spear. Even if you hit 8 laps, can you get them to agree? His car immediately confirmed firmly. I can get that consent through competition. So it doesn't matter. However, it will no longer be a fight, so it won't be as easy as it is today. I hear that. Stand up and put your hand back in your pocket. Then it shouldn't take too long. Your card is standing next to you. He was seriously holding the lance in his hand. That sounds so soft. The car also pointed through the speaker. I say that because I think it's possible. Just look at today's results. What are you looking at? He's got a bad eye. From now on, worry. Let's see how we pay this price. The car closed its eyes and looked calm. The corners of the mouth smudged as if they could meet. Just tell me what you need to pay for this. Whether it's cash or materials, I'll meet everything in my power. His voice dropped a bass note. Serious. Besides, I've got something else I want you to make. The car looked a little surprised at him. Is there a new order so fast? Suddenly, the car pulled the weapon in his hand. These things aren't bad quality, but I only borrowed one, submitted to the class only. His mouth opened with a smile. As planned with the intention. If he can make them. In just a few short hours. I'm really curious. I don't know the spear. How will it be forged next? The driver slammed his fist against one side of the car. Give me a weapon that's easier to use. My car's walking with him. Put that spear down. You almost stabbed his. What did you just say? Index associated with the object. Ian's Hioha has risen to level 2. As the level of cohesion increases, the relationship between the 2 sides will become stronger. The connection between goals. Ian's Hioha is currently trading. Every time a transaction with an object is completed, a link stone will be formed. The crystallization rate of the bonding stone will increase rapidly while in the process of trading. How many stones are there? There's a transition to a place with a large audience, and you have the light shining on what's on the stage. At the auction house, the host looks very welcoming. Reached out to introduce. Thank you very much for your patience. The periodic auction of the 2nd year cultivation faculty. Permission to start. Farhan appeared here in a row of audience seats. I don't think there are so many people attending every day. Erika sitting next to pay attention to his clo. You just changed your style. I'd also just crossed my eyes. Professor Incheon reminds me that the outer appearance, it's also very important. And that's why I'm thinking more carefully in my head. It seems that the title of valedictorian, it's actually something very different. Incheon appeared calmly under the light. On the stage. It's going to be very difficult to control publicly, with someone who's the center of attention. The car crossed its arms to reveal a hauntingly funny sound. You're right on my face. While observing, I'm quite curious about the plan to take over the administration of the refinery. Michael, today's topic is Iron Sword. 36 products were sent to. And we'll have one more stage. Quality inspection, especially according to the leader. On the stage, there's a white cloth coming out. This fabric is Seljumpol. It's woven from the molten fur of a white tiger. It's soft, but it's as strong as metal. At the same time, it resists slashing. A man to another support, seriously slashing something hard at the cloth. Thanks to that feature, a loud noise tore through the room. The host of the show, pointing to the phenomenon that just showed up on the floor. As you can see, to increase the likelihood of damage, we can easily. I've discovered that items have reduced durability. In this auction, we will use Seljimbo to remove such defective items. A sword is the first thing that is handed to you. And now, the first sword to be introduced was the practitioner Joseph Slam. The crowd's howl began to ring out. Oh, that looks interesting. It seems that they have prepared everything very carefully. Erica stared at the car next to her. Do you know why they do that? I am analyzing a white tiger beast with you, blue eyes. Most people just know that the white tiger's body is strong. But in fact, its capabilities are a little more complicated. Skin, hair part, meat and bone have characteristics completely different. Especially that its coat is capable of tissue, reproduce the sharpness of any metal weapon touch. So how good is it to use weapons? It's also going to erode the strength of that thing. Erica puts her hand up and tries to think seriously. If so, it's not clear. The sword will be at a disadvantage, because swords prioritize sharpness. They will usually have very low strength. Par Hun, put your hands on your chin, and your face is looking forward to it. That's exactly what it is. This is clearly a trap. Willow targeted me and the professor, Kim In Chian. But if the sword is broken here, reputation of the guiding professor, it will also be seriously affected. That only happens in the absence of fabrication. It's just carefully. On the stage, the host had strong charm auction. The sword, the 25th, was sold for 4 million won. The sword was finally brought out, and the host started to introduce. And the last hour is sword number 36. The first-year students, valedictorian refining cups Hun. Inspection process, quality for white light long sword, permission to start. As soon as the sword sharp and touching the white cloth, to unleash a powerful force. The man firmly gripped the hilt of his sword tightly, but the sword came suddenly, out of that person's control. Michael just saw the scene. Then the picture is white. The face just now is the long sword of white light. There's still sharpness, it's just a broken part of the head. What just happened?